That's right, undefeatable. It's Rivals Fight Night, featuring a guy who goes spinning in circles, does minimal damage unless you're a flying character who's a squishy. But that guy who eats you from below, he is going to be enforced today. He goes by the name of Venom, and he plays for EU. Welcome in, everybody. We have Dogman and ZP. And ZP, where is Luna Snow at? Let's just talk about it. Is this a season 2 problem? Where did our lady go?
Where did it go? You know, I just shifted my background a little bit to the right. I think technically in the background, she's a little bit behind. Hang on. A little bit of wizardry right here.
Yeah, bring her in. Yep, move her over. There you go. Put her in her proper spot. We're working on that. Dogman, welcome to Rivals. We saw you on the proper Rivals broadcast, and we said we need him for our fight night. Why? Because we know him from the Overwatch League days, but more importantly, you've become a phenomenal caster. I was listening. Do you enjoy play-by-play or the analytical role as a former pro player?
I don't know. I mean, I would say both, to be honest, unless, I don't know, like some people just are killer at play-by-play. So I'm just like, okay, I'll just go over and do color instead. And you talk me up, Puckett, but you know, I'm just here to fill a little bit. So I'm here to take the place potentially of somebody who, you know, was here in the other weeks. I'm just here to shine ZP up a little bit because, you know, obviously with that Venom twerk I saw in your background last week, ZP, I know how it works here. Don't worry.
We get down here on Rivals Fight Night, and if you don't know how it works, the hype train has started. What's up, everybody? We just started the show. I love you. We have your favorite teams from Europe and North America. We're going to start with Europe so they can go to bed early. Then we're going to show you North America. But ZP, for anyone who's tuning in for the first time, we have familiar names in the lineup. I'm not just talking Shikigami and Shroud X and Envy. Oblivione has been here. Luminosity has been in multiple grand finals, and Virtus Pro is our 5-time champion. They've won 5 of 6 matches, and that 6th match, they weren't even in it. They weren't here for it.
Oh yeah, it's like they took a quick sabbatical. You know, VP was running stuff in Europe, but they came right back, got through the challenger match, and reclaimed the throne in style. And yeah, EU, I mean, is really interesting. Where Oblivione, I mean, they're a team where, you know, they weren't in the Marvel Rivals Invitational. Then they had a really good showing in MRC, and you know, it's been a few weeks since Vamhon, and we figured, all right, let's get them back in, see them versus Luminosity, who at this point, while they haven't been able to get over the hump and beat VP, they have been pretty decisively the number 2 team in Europe.
Let's meet our squad, starting with our Europeans. Oblivione in the challenger matchup. Dogman, we've seen these guys in the past. Demon, Noctis, Suti, Forever, Passio, Jakes, and Andraco. If I remember right, it was Passio had a stellar performance on the Vanguard, and Demon was our player to watch on Duelist. Are you familiar with the squad, and if so, who are you looking at?
Yeah, I've watched a bit of EMEA, of this region overall. I mean, I agree with a lot of people that say this is one of the best regions in the game. I think that European players tend to be, you know, underlooked and sort of under talked about at a global level. And, you know, a lot of these players are really good. Like you said, Demon is an absolute god. It's unfortunate for Oblivione that the last MRC wasn't necessarily like their meta almost. And I feel like because the new changes came through with season 2, it's anybody's game right now. And obviously as the challengers coming into it, it's going to be a tough match versus Luminosity. Like you guys said, the kings of second place in the fight night. So I'd be curious to see if Oblivione can get the job done.
On the other side of the matchup, we do have the kings of second place. They go by the name of Luminosity Gaming, and the 1 week Virtus Pro wasn't here. LG stole the crown. Let's talk about Naga's crew. ZP, what should we know about Trust Me and the rest of these guys coming in?
I mean, what you should know about Luminosity is that, you know, if it wasn't for VP, they would be the number 1 team in Europe. It's because they embody a lot of the same things that VP does well, right? You have veterans of the hero shooter genre on this team. They are very, very good in terms of their ult economy. They have standout duelist performance from players like Naga, who can absolutely take over the game. I mean, you know, season 1, catch Naga on the Moor, you know, with the Luna Snow team up and just holding a team off entirely on the first point of a convoy map, right? Like, just really talented across the board. And to me, it's just the experience that you get with this team that they built up even before Marvel Rivals even came out.
EU players, you are on top of your game. Well done. They are already getting in the lobby. NA players, you can learn a lot by just watching these guys, and not just what meta you're going to see in season 2, but how to get in the lobby. Dogman, who is the worst on any of the teams you ever played with at getting in the game? Was there ever a slacker that you were just like, I hate this guy?
I mean, it's probably DeFran back in the day. You know, actually, he's back on season, what is it, season 2? You know, Odubsky. But yeah, DeFran specifically, I think he had some you know, out of game things he struggled with. I think so. Maybe
he's
that
a
was
farmer. I saw him making like some pecan treats recently. The dude's living his best life. ZP. Let's talk a little bit about our EU challengers, because this is season 2, and I'm told that we should talk about the meta changes. So are we just going to see Groot in every single lobby unless he's banned? Are we going to see a whole lot new Emma, the new Vanguard that was launched recently? I've got about 20 hours into her. I love her already. What are we expecting from the pros?
I think we're going to see actually quite a bit of variety in terms of what people are checking out. I don't think Groot is going anywhere, but I think the number one thing that keeps getting talked about a lot is, you know, Rocket Raccoon, right? Rocket was already pretty good at points in the last patch in season 1, and now Rocket arguably way better at the changes to his ultimate. The fact that it, you know, actually helps way more with sustain nowadays. Also the fact that Human Torch is just, you know, inflation has really taken its toll, where you buff him, you buff him, you buff him, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, yeah, Human Torch actually good. Who cares about flying? Just walk at people and two-shot them, you know?
There are no torches in Diamond. I can let people know about that right now. It's great news. Dogman, we are jumping into our first ban, and this is a new screen. We got 5 boxes for each team now.
My God, I mean, that's insane. I've not seen this yet. I'm actually really excited for it, and I'm glad, you know, like you said, with Solomon behind the scenes creating these sort of awesome, unique graphics. Early Captain America ban. I've actually heard about this in the Asian region. A lot of Cap, like full dive. You know, he's a very annoying hero to play against. And meanwhile, like you guys said earlier, Puckett, that group got banned immediately.
Adam Warlock is going to be saved by Oblivione, so maybe the respawn comp's still in it, ZP, or is this just an ideal healer right now?
It could be a little bit column A, a little bit column B. We'll see what Luminosity thinks when they come into their next ban. Protecting Magneto makes a lot of sense in the sense that I think Magneto is just going to be mainstay for most teams right now, and especially when the Groot is gone. You don't want to, with 3 bans per team, you end up in this world where if you don't protect key heroes, a team can just put you into silly land by just taking out all the things you would expect to play in a role and just put you in a completely foreign territory, right? So you kind of want to protect key things. But deciding to ban the Psylocke here, I do think with 3 bans, teams have actually gone even more so in the realm of, you know, we're going to take away even the niche things that you might like.
You might have an annoying ultimate like Psylocke, but the Dance of the Butterflies, or she's just really good at killing that backline. On the other side, you are going to see Adam Warlock and a Hulk. Does this force a Namor ban?
I think Luminosity likes to play it, though. That's the thing. They love to put Naga onto the Namor, so that would surprise me if they banned it. I think they want to play that, considering as well they don't like to play the Psylocke. I think, you know, Naga just unfortunately hasn't had a great grasp of the hero just necessarily yet. And okay, never mind. I was completely wrong.
Yep. No Namor. Trust me, playing against the green squid is the most annoying thing on the planet. I thought the icy squid, the Monstros, would be the most annoying. Nah, it's the green one. All right, Star-Lord out of the sky despite protecting Adam. What's going on over here, Oblivione? They're cooking up something special that I am not familiar with. And if you're not familiar, this is how the matches break down. We're bringing you a best of 5. What does that mean? The first to win 3 maps is moving on to our championship match against Virtus Pro, where $1,000 will be on the line every time we predetermine map number 1. It's a domination to get things rolling. And this time around, it's Hell's Heaven. On the mic for the night, we have a very special guest, Dogman with ZP.
Yeah, and you know, the interesting thing here is that we changed up maps a little bit for those tuning in and going, it's like, wait, this is the challenging match. Why are you kicking off with Hell's Heaven? It's like, well, Royal Palace is gone. It is not in the map pool for us anymore. Instead, we've moved our money match domination off into the challenging match, and we'll kick off the money match with Control Krakoa, the new domination map.
Ooh. That's going to be a fun one to watch, man. I don't know, because I haven't even seen it on the competitive level necessarily yet, and you know, that map has a lot of unique things like the portals that you can go through. Yep, the portals are huge on that map, so that's going to be exciting later.
Yeah, at some point people realize, like, you know, people like Magneto portals. What if we just made portals as a general feature of the map? Or sorry, not Magneto, Strange portals. You know, why not have Strange portals just a feature in the map? But getting into it right now, what do you see on these team comps here, Dogman?
I mean, we already have that Adam Warlock triple support comp coming for Oblivione, and Luminosity not wanting to play that. They're opting away towards that Storm, just incredible frontline damage with that Punisher. They just want to melt these tanks on Oblivione's side.
Meanwhile, for LG, the Emma Frost. First play here in Season 2 in competitive play. We'll see how Trust Me makes the White Queen work, and for now, decent damage on the opposing Magneto. Both teams feeling each other out here so far. And you look at LG. Just moving on forward is Trust Me, takes down Jakes, and Emma Frost looking good off the early pickoff. However, the team up res is there. Fight not won here just yet. Oblivione, though, still on the back foot as LG getting closer and closer right now to first cap. They protect Forever. No, Forever gonna go down, and Oblivione just getting forced off the point.
Well, yeah, by the way, Iron Man's in the game. Completely forgot about that. Oh, and the new pause feature coming through. That's interesting to see that come immediately through, considering, you know, I'm assuming a player had an issue or something along those lines. But, you know, I've heard a lot of the good things about Iron Man. I've seen a lot of good Iron Man play, and especially with Hela being banned, it makes sense why they want to play towards that. Interesting. No Human Torch, though it wasn't banned. And another pause for both sides. Why not, ZP?
A bunch of whiny strategists is what I'm seeing. In the meantime, this gives us a moment to give a big shout out. We are on the front page of kick.com tonight. Thank you for allowing us to bring you the best entertainment from Europe and North America. If you're playing Rivals and you suck, well, watch this stream and I guarantee you climb at least 2 ranks. We got ZP and Dogman, former professionals who now get paid to talk to you.
There you go. And, you know, I will say we kind of opened Pandora's box having pause as an ability here, because even in the other games we've done here at Fight Night, the one thing, EU is really good at getting lobbies, but really, really bad at actually not abusing the pause button repeatedly. It's like someone has a little bit of lag, hit the button. So here we are. You know, the counterpart though here, Dogman, as you can attest to for your times in NA, when we wait for NA players, they're always in the bathroom for some reason. Like, do you know why?
Small bladder syndrome. That's what I would like to say. I don't know. I was definitely in that boat of needing to use the bathroom like every hour. So it's just small bladder syndrome, I'm assuming, over in North America's region. EU guys, like you said, those ZP, you know, really good at getting lobbies, like you mentioned, but the mental, I don't know if they have the strongest mental on average, I would say. All
right. Well, first fight taken away here by LG, running the Emma Frost Storm comp. And, you know, already it's kind of interesting, Donovan, because we're seeing a big shift meta-wise from what we saw in Season 1.
Yeah, it's weird because, well, how Luminosity's playing it is they're really doing a good job pressuring out Oblivione's frontline. Oblivione playing it slow, trying to build up towards this pulse from Iron Man, but they need to not play too close to this Emma Frost because she can just grab you and throw you against the wall, so they're just having to kite constantly versus a team you don't want to do that against. And here you go, Emma Frost immediately deleting Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, Hulk immediately getting shifted out. Demon still looking for the opportunity to drop the maximum pulse, and okay, so Destroyed brought back by the BRB. Still options here for Oblivione as the Emma Frost ult does fade away, so LG going back a little bit. Solar Surge is going to be popped here by Jakes. Final Judgment in here for LG as they try and take it away. Maximum Pulse used, nothing happens. Meanwhile, Forever, drop the Meteor M, gets killed by Fate, brought right back in by the BRB. Both teams getting back into it. Karmic Revival in, and now LG still hanging on here. Omega Hurricane in from Naga, into the back, takes down Jakes, and this death may stand, but it's trade outs back and forth right now, Dogman.
Yeah, this is just not working for Oblivione. They, you know, utilizing the res in the middle of the fight to bring everybody back, but the damage output is just not there currently. Considering how Luminosity is playing this, you can see why they've just given up on this triple support, triple res composition. I think that a lot of people assume triple strategist is super strong in this game, and it is, but when you play against Luminosity, who just has an incredible amount of damage boost with the Rocket Raccoon and with the Storm, there's so much damage coming through with that Punisher.
All right, Oblivione, one chance here to delay things out. We are in overtime. Ash goes in. Demon immediately. Findings destroyed. Hulk off the ult. A little bit of pressure here on the Storm. BRB, though, brings destroyed right back in. Demon down. And this time gets back into the fight later, but the momentum fully shifted back in the LG's favor. Fate of both worlds here. Gonna fade here for a second. Fate. Jake's back up into the fight. Demon, meanwhile, takes down destroyed. This one may last. This LG trying to hold off Oblivione, make this first round clean. Hulk, though, finally gonna get de-transformed, just trust me. Finishes off. Huge performance so far from the Emma.
Yeah, that was just brutal. I mean, there was just so much damage, so much support as well for Naga. You saw that the Hulk tried to jump on him, just try to disrupt a little bit of that damage, and they just found the Punisher both times. It didn't really end up mattering, considering Naga's able to get so much value with the bubble from Majaro, with the Snowflake as well from Fade. I mean, it's hard to take down this Storm right now. Oblivione not really figuring things out in their current composition. We'll see if they change it up in this second round, because that was just pure dominance from Luminosity.
All right, so LG picking up where they left off from Season 1. And, it's kind of interesting. You can't always trust spawn room doors in any hero shooter. But it does look like Oblivione might be making a change-up mid-round here. Dog, I'm going to take a look at might be Ash bringing out an Emma of their own.
Can I make a call out? I do not believe we have ever seen a Mantis win on Rivals Fight Night. Game on.
I wonder why. I mean, it makes. Sorry, ZP. What are you saying?
No. I mean, overall, that may be true. And maybe there's like one or two times, but it's definitely not a comp that's had huge success here in RFN. I'll back it up.
It's unfortunate, because I think the times you've seen, at least last week, it was like 2 supports with the Mantis, and something about how EMEA plays the game, they just do really well against triple strategists, and specifically Mantis. She doesn't bring enough healing. She just does a ton of damage. Incoming ultimate from the Rocket. Maybe this is Oblivione's chance to change the tide.
Well, right now, it could be real danger here, as Maximum Pulse nearly good to go. However, Majaro has Meteor M ready to go in turn. Trust me, meanwhile, Emma ult up. All sorts of control coming on in. Destroyed. Following up off what Trust Me sets up. Karmic Revival, though, in from Andre. Fight not over yet, although right as that happens, Karmic Revival comes in. People still go out. Naga right over it with the Omega Hurricane. Ends up falling in turn, but LG still in a great spot.
I mean, Trust Me is an absolute god right now on this Emma Frost. I mean, personally, I've never thought Emma Frost ult was that good, but with the amount of pressure that Zestroid provided through his ultimate and through that front line, just kind of walking down Oblivione, they haven't figured out what to do. This Iron Man comp is really not working, and looks like Oblivione agrees with that statement, as they swap to pretty much a mirror on the other side.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting. I think you'll see this a lot over the course of the day. While obviously teams have been scrimming, this has not been out for all that long. Like, people have not fully cracked the code yet on Season 2. So, I fully expect meta-related things to be in flux, but maybe Emma all day, every day, the way things are looking right now. At least Trust Me has anything to say about it. But fight in progress right now. Demon plugging away right now at Rajaro. Rajaro, though, getting healed up in turn, and a counter poke from Zestroid is there. Demon fallen immediately. 2 down right away. BRB's gonna bring back up 1, but Rajaro just moves forward off the early picks, and LG making it look easy.
Yeah, right now, both teams just kind of walking into each other allows Naga to just get so much value as soon as he pops E, right? He's just able to get so much damage from the sky with the damage boost on his team. And Oblivione slowly just lose, right? Now we're into last fight territory for Oblivione, and they have to win here and now, especially on map number 1. Leading forwards, I'm curious how the bans move, but right now, LG, I don't see how they lose this unless they really just hard throw.
I mean, for LG, they have to hard throw 2 or 3 times in a row, effectively, is where you're at right now. So, I mean, they have a buffer here, even if Oblivione takes his fight. But for now, Trust Me in the front. Little bit of backup here. You're going to get the Sia dropped here by Andre. Oblivione, everything on deck as they try and move in. LG popping the wild, their ult bank in turn. Everyone's all on deck here. And it's Naga, the Omega Hurricane, crushing the 3. Not going to resurrect from that as LG takes map 1 in a dominant fashion.
Dominant indeed, ZP. Right now, LG look really good in this Storm composition with that Luna Snow ultimate pop towards the end alongside the Rocket Raccoon. You called it, man. They just popped literally everything, but there's just so much damage, so much increased damage to go through any strategist ultimate from Oblivione that no matter what counter they do, it's just into death, and well-deserved MVP from Trust Me, and he's a freak on the Vanguard.
27-0. Did I read that right? Trust Me, popping off Emma Frost. Welcome not just to my lobby, but also all night on our broadcast. A strong fit for Season 2. Emma Frost does a lot of damage. I've seen no Doctor Stranges in any of my lobbies because he just gets his back broken, jump kick to the front of my line. Dogman, how else is she kind of affecting the meta? Because I don't feel like we truly saw the correct meta so far from Oblivione.
Well, a lot of things are shifted with this like 3-ban system. It's very unique to see. I think that it's easy to make mistakes. I think that can't be understated moving forward. But It's just so much she does. She just has anti-CC whenever she pops her diamond form. She can come in and grab you, CC you for an unbelievable time, and still pretty much 0 to or 100 to 0 a tank even if she gets a grab on you against a wall. So there's just a lot that this character can provide, it seems. And if you're supported like she was in that case, it's hard to really do anything against the Emma Frost who's just frontlining, even without the team up with Psylocke.
Yeah, so I was looking at why you might be running the triple support. Maybe they were trying to poke her down in the early rounds. Hopefully, Oblivione's coaching staff is watching the stream. They've been in the chat in the past. Let your players know we do not want to see Mantis moving forward. Let's go. Game number 2 is your choice. Where are you going to take us? And ZP, after watching weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of Luminosity gaming, what map do you want to play him on? Is there an ideal game mode? Let's start there. Convergence, domination. What do you want to see?
I mean, I think historically, domination actually isn't the worst place to bring LG to. The problem is LG looked way better this time around. You know, the key difference here is that you think the LG in the past, right? It was a lot of, okay, we want to go to domination when they do play it, and they play Venom comps, which aren't always the strongest, right? Other teams like VP generally have their number. It's not a Venom comp anymore. It's an Emma Frost comp. But to me, that also maybe means, okay, maybe you rewind the clock a little bit here. You do go to something like another domination map, but you ban the Emma Frost. I think with the level of Emma gap that we saw here between Trust Me and Ashe when Ashe was briefly on it, I have no idea why going into the next map you would not just like ban Emma Frost immediately. I think
she's new group
recognize it. Yeah.
Okay, I like it. All right, Emma, I hope you're in more games because I'm trying to learn. By the way, if you're out there, she charges up like an old school Zarya. The more she's on you with her beam, the stronger it's going to get. I guess I should say Symmetra. But also, when she shifts into her diamond form, that's when she's going to go hand-to-hand combat on your ass. She keeps the charge coming back out. So it's a little bit of a tech that is going to help you get from your silver to hopefully platinum lobbies. Storm in the mix. Will we see it more, Naga? She was almost gone from the last 3 weeks of Fight Night.
She's like kind of on the cusp, or was it kind of on the cusp on becoming meta? And obviously it depends on what bans kind of come through. But I mean, we saw so much like target focus was on Destroying. He had 6 deaths. It was like all of the deaths of Luminosity besides, you know, Naga going away once, and maybe one strategist fell. Like right now, there's so much damage coming onto this Punisher, but it doesn't end up mattering because the real damage is coming through from Naga on the other side, just with the AoE damage and just overall from the sky. I mean, that character can bring a lot to the table with supporting the team like that Emma Frost, like you guys saw, or just being able to do an unbelievable amount of damage. So Naga seems to be very good on the Storm, like you said.
No more. Will we see more Storm? Keep your eyes on the bans and protects. We've got 3 bans, 2 protects, and a whole new map too coming up. Hall of Dejoya is loaded. ZP, we're about to choose which heroes will survive to the next round. Emma Frost, Lord Chime. ZP, give me another nickname for the White Witch.
Ooh, another nickname. You know, I'm thinking on right now within the lore, like nothing is immediately coming up to me, but right now, in terms of nicknames from what we just saw there, I'd just say meta hero in where we're at right now, because if we keep seeing that going forward, it's definitely going to be the next route tier, right? Of just simply, guess what? If you don't have a good Emma player, you ban it. Simple as that.
Dogman, have you been on Comics Explained yet?
No, what's that?
YouTube channel on the planet. Nameless. Shout out to my guy from the Call of Duty desk. He's like, you got to watch this guy. So his name's Rob. He's got about 2 million subscribers. Every video has 9 million plus views. And he breaks down basically every Marvel movie from the cinematic universe into 90 minutes. It's perfect for someone with ADHD. But then he's got deep dives into every hero you could ask for, every era, every artist, every writer. Anyway, he's the GOAT. And I want to get lore into this broadcast in the future. So Rob, if you're listening, jump on board. Rivals Fight Night. We need more Emma Frost lore because I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of her on the broadcast. Dogman, game is loading up. I'm going to shut up. Let's get into the bans and protects. And of course, our man behind the scenes, Saul, man, shows you what happened in map number 1. Well done, Saul.
Yeah, I love what we're seeing here, where you just have the bans previously, because I think today, more than any other day, now that season 2 is really fresh, you're gonna see a lot of variation from map to map. As I say that though, LG, they don't have any reason to do variate from what they did in map 1. They crushed, so they're not gonna change their game plan. Oblivione though, they opened the Magneto ban, which is interesting.
Yeah, it kind of gave him some problems because you saw like anytime they would try to target Naga or anybody really, just the Magneto prevented any of that damage. Interesting Emma Frost ban, like you guys said. That's unique.
She's protected, yeah.
Protected,
in, guaranteed.
And that's like Oblivione that
And
protected her, so they just said game on.
They're saying bring out all the meaty tanks. We're ready. Roots and boots, no Psylocks. Maybe just trying to get rid of the flankers. Luminosity must have got like steamrolled in a scrim or something. They do not want people in their face.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best Psylocks in the game in Sparker is over here, so I assume that they just like are like, okay, we just can't play Psylocke against anybody. Considering, well, Naga's decent at Psylocke, but I wouldn't say he's on Sparker's level currently. He's just not. The character is so all-in-y. You have to get one-shots almost on Psylocke or, you know, help your front line. She does so much damage, but you need to have the right kind of mentality for the hero.
Right. It's destroyed, of course, right now in the lineup. Sparker coming up later for Virtus Pro. They're not letting him out quite yet. Here we have Adam being protected once again. They say we want more triple support, maybe? Luminosity, what do you got for me?
Well, last time they did a Rocket Protect. We'll see if it's the same this time. The only thing I'll say here is that I am not enjoying the Rocket Adam compositions right now. We're just like, what's going on in this team fight? We'll get back to you after around like 8,000 resurrections have come in. Like, it's too much res. Like, please, someone just get rid of one of the two. I'm begging.
Okay, no Hulk. No Hulk kind of denies the Namor. It's a 2-for-1. It's like getting rid of Luna in the previous season. On the other side, they say we were punished enough. Put them away.
The right heroes could make all
No more
the
Punisher is
difference.
definitely interesting. I'm surprised we're even seeing it, but, you know, everything is so different from ranked into pro matches. So, like ZP said, I mean, the meta is still being figured out right now.
We're only a week in. What is your favorite comp, chat? Let me know. I have been running The Thing with Emma Frost. You back slam them, you suplex them into a haymaker. It's the GOAT feeling. All right, Hall of Dajalia, it's loaded up. ZP's on the mic.
All right, getting on into it here. And honestly, again, I'm just interested in the change-ups here, especially the fact that Magneto isn't going to be involved because, I mean, you stop and think about the general power of Magneto. Not only has it hit a point, tank-wise, Dogman, where it's like not people are really good in the neutral for it, but it's used to nullify enemy duelist ults like to a degree that very little else is. So just no Magneto does really change the flow of gameplay.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, that hero is arguably the best in the game currently, I think tank-wise at least, in terms of Vanguards, because he just fits into everything. Like dive, counter dive, brawl, just like you name it, and I mean, that character just does it. So I like that they banned it. It's definitely a unique choice. And with 3 bans, you know what I'm surprised about, ZP, is like we're not... in the finals, I believe, with LG and VP last week, we just saw a bunch of strategist targets. Like, I don't know why we're not seeing that today even so far. I mean, maybe later, but you can ban out so many strategists and make, you know, everybody's life living hell, considering some of the weaker strategists are not as strong.
Yeah, I mean, that was the approach that we saw in NA, particularly from Shikigami, and, you know, how they got at 100 Thieves. But, you know, for Oblivione, what you got to focus on here is they ban the Hela and they bring up the Torch. Those two things, not unrelated.
Unrelated indeed. Now they're just kind of playing heavily around Nocta and Demon. Demon going to look for that damage coming in from LG's dive, or sorry, LG's root composition. I'll see if it gets value, or I want to see if it gets value. Meanwhile, the switch to Star-Lord for Naga is going to be unique. I'm curious kind of who pans out, who's favored in this, but Sestroid early advantage onto the high ground, tries to take space for LG's attack.
Probably going to be seeing more Hawkeye this season, too. You know, people speaking highly of the Hawkeye buffs and what Hawkeye's role may be. Meanwhile, Naga onto Star-Lord, looking to chip away against this Oblivione defense. But Oblivione, I mean, holding back pretty well here so far. You know, getting a little bit low, but the Torch striking, finding Rocket for the first pick. That's one way to stop a whole bunch of resurrections from coming in. And, you know, Torch on defense feels really good right now.
Yeah, Torch on defense. I like you called that, ZP. I mean, it's just you can see how much value he is providing. Demon, though, as well from the backside. I mean, so much pressure from Nocta was here. You saw Naga was trying to kind of harass the back line, make sure he's a bit distracted, but it didn't end up mattering. However, traded from LG, Rajaro now onto Emma Frost, finds the opening pick.
That's just dominance when you kill the other Emma with choke slam, like what just happened there, the Emma versus Emma. Meanwhile, though, Nocta continuing to be a huge threat, finds Naga into the back, real close to getting ult up on top of it. Ash dropping the feast, setting up Nocta for one more, and really, Oblivione looking to be in their lane right now. Just a very solid defense, not overextending, you know, utilizing both the Hawkeye and the Torch to just hold people back.
The benefit here now, though, for LG is they did use the Strategist ultimate. You know they only have the Loki copy on the backside. Naga should be relatively free with his ultimate over the top side. Nocta as well goes a little bit too aggressive on the defensive angle, and no res to bring him back means he will be gone for this upcoming fight.
Galactic Legend in here from Naga. Our regen domain going to be ruining some of his life. At the same time, destroyed. Swapped over to the Hawkeye. Looking for a pick. Rajaro dropping the Emma ult. Meanwhile, Forever doing much the same. Forever forcing people back. Fate of both worlds, though, going to be used here by LG. Stay in the fight a little bit longer. Nocta is back in. Drops a Supernova. We'll see how much this delays. And LG able to kind of dodge the flames, go to the backside. Naga able to get on the demon. But it's all a very long stall coming for Oblivione. But they got to touch the point. They don't.
Oh. I was going to say, I loved how LG played that. I mean, they were so patient with their Strategist ultimates. Olgot on the backside, just utilizing it the very last second to keep Destroyed alive. And like you said, ZP, no touch from Oblivione. Means we're headed in the streets phase of the map. But honestly, not a terrible hold considering all things and how early they use Strategist ultimates. And now into this upcoming fight, we're going to have none until Oblivione build Jake's.
Still some interesting changes between teams. The biggest difference by far is the fact you got Star-Lord on one side, Torch on the other. And I do wonder, which is going to be preferred in the long run right now.
I mean, I would say in this current composition, the Star-Lord, by the way, early pickoff from Destroyed. Nice shot.
On Emma, no less. Like, you lose a Vanguard that early, especially one with such meta imports right now as the Emma. It crushes. It puts you in a situation where it's like, okay, we need the reset. Also, LG saying, we don't want you to reset. We'll do the reset for you as we stagger you back in the spawn. Good luck.
I would say, like, yeah, Naga can kind of follow up on those dives maybe a little bit easier, or at least he can kind of do some harass. And I actually love his ultimate. I think it just does so much on the top side, especially in the streets phase of the map, which we're, by the way, already through. We already have Ashe just touching last second, utilizing the E. Here comes some Desperation Hour ultimates from the defensive side. We'll see if it pans out for them, considering they've had to commit so much early and no value has been found so far.
Yeah, I mean, they had to use the Fate of both worlds super early just to get a little bit of stall here. LG, it's over. They take down Forever again early. Rajaro moving forward, has the ult ready. Might not even have to burn it here as LG for now. Decent spot on the point. Oblivione got a Mischief nearly faded here. We see Ashe just getting pummeled and down. Galactic Legend, meanwhile, gonna be popped by here by Naga. Should be all the cleanup LG needs, and Rajaro got the safe ult on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the combination with the Luna Snow ultimate alongside the Venom ultimate. Those two in tandem result in pretty much a one-shot on a lot of heroes. The follow-through was there from Naga with the pistol blasters, and it is interesting that Star-Lord is finding as much value without that Magneto, because usually you need to, shield your Star-Lord, to keep him alive, kind of hard pocket him to make sure he can get those blasters off, but he's doing a great job following up, and the team is doing a good job supporting the Star-Lord meta.
Demon, super quick early pickoff. You get on the strategist like that, and the fight's just over before it begins. And I think we're going to see a lot of this here, Dogman, in this new meta, where if people are going to be running more Hawkeye, that's just a way that end fights economically, in a way that very few other heroes in the game do.
Yeah, it's a great point, CP. I mean, just who needs ultimates? Who needs anything when you could just one-shot somebody on a character like Hawkeye? So I'm curious. I mean, it's interesting how these dives actually aren't even finding as much value for the defense onto the Hawkeye.
Nocta gonna pop the ult here, Oblivione. I mean, the upside when you use Torch ult is that you get a lot of zone power. You see LG just having the dance back. I mean, handling it pretty well. Trust me, though, getting very not. Good self-control not to pop the feast. And now LG, they see the ult fading, move back in on the same way. Rajaro dropping the Emma ult, takes down Nocta immediately, so they get the initial pick they want. Oblivione responding in turn. They don't get picks off onto it. They do use Luna ult into it, so Oblivione committing. They actually get destroyed in the back. Ashe was able to drop feast, get one. Even here so far, Andre gonna use the God Mischief, get another Fate of both worlds up. LG again getting forced back as a result. Naga, though, just waiting for this ult and fade away. Galactic Legend, good to go. Blast Barrage into the backline. He's gonna hit it. He's gonna move forward. And what's he gonna get so far? Rajaro gets one. Naga onto the other. Ends up getting knocked down by Forever, but the damage still might have been done.
Yeah, the damage still might have been done indeed, ZP, and now Ashe just looking to delay the car. I mean, this is the benefit of Venom. He takes forever to freaking kill and takes pretty much no skill, but for LG's side, I mean, they get rid of Ashe for now. And that was just great ultimates from this offensive side. We've seen now Nocta swapping over to the Star-Lord, and I kind of agree with that. I think Human Torch is a good hero, but it can't be hard to use that ultimate. It's hard to get the timing alongside your team if you don't have, you know, that Storm to help follow through, because if they just dodge the, was it 4 tornadoes that he pops out with the ultimate, it can be hard to get value with it.
All right, 45 seconds left. Still a really good defense for Oblivione so far. The seduction ready to go right now for Rajaro. It's destroyed. Meanwhile, they use a little bit of Hawkeye ult to pin things back, and again, get used to seeing this. I think Hawkeye is going to be a mainstay. However, LG's not able to really do too much into the defense here. They get Ashe at the very end. Oblivione, though, might be able to fade back. Oh, I say that, though. Trust me, he's not done. Gets Demon into the back line. What was one pick now turning into what is perhaps a stagger. The convoy now moving on forward. Rajaro diving on in. Naga looking to end, or Nocta now looking to end it. Gets a Galactic Legend up and ready to go. The swap off late into the process, however, Regen Domain gonna make his life absolutely miserable looking for the pickoffs. Rubber dropping the seduction of their own. Oblivione, it's enough to get for Demon to get the pick off. You get the MSCC into the Hawkeye pick, and LG now getting thrown back super low on the point.
Yeah, every pick going in Oblivione's favor right now. They've done a good job pressing out Luminosity without ultimates, and it was definitely getting worrisome towards the end, but I think that overall for Oblivione to get that stop here and now really resulted off of Ashe stalling out that payload earlier on with about 1 minute and 30 seconds left. I think they did a good job playing that macro. It's always going to be hard on attack versus Venom, where he could just get that stall off, but Luminosity, I think they still made it relatively far, ZP. I don't know what you think about it, but they didn't do that bad, honestly.
So I think on this map, you can never assume that you're going to complete the map, especially because first point is so difficult to get through. But I do think Oblivione looked way, way better than they did on map 1. I think this is one of those things where Oblivione, I mean, they're a team, they have a lot of roster depth. And I think part of going into that is that they're a team that's more willing to set up, you know, more complex strategies for your convoy and convergence maps. And I think they came in here with a very specific game plan when you look at how they ran defense, right? They had the torch on defense to begin with. It was a very different comp than, you know, the strategist style setup they went in on domination. So, you know, they have different looks, and this one was a far better matchup, I think, against how LG likes to play.
Yeah, they kind of played the Hawkeye like they would a Punisher almost. I mean, they were just kind of walking forward with the ultimate, you know, similar to that sort of Punisher style, and you can't, you know, match it with the Meteor M. And in this composition as well, we have to bear in mind the Star-Lord does get a lot more value considering he only has to worry about Stratus ultimates. It's all about timing in terms of getting, you know, really good duelist ultimates off. You have to make sure that you're either waiting out Stratus ultimates or using them to force out others. In LG throughout the series have done pretty well, but Oblivione did a pretty good job on defense there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point where it's like, what a world you're in where you don't hear Legendary immediately followed up by, you know, Fear Magneto. Yeah, there's no Magneto the Fear. He's bad. He's actually bad. Like, the Fear of Magneto is gone. But
Portal in time.
That's right. Portal has been used. Oblivione on the attack. The Emmas are brawling face to face right now. Demon, though, able to get destroyed early. A huge strategist pick early here for Oblivione. Demon looking fantastic so far on the Hawkeye. Now the Karmic Rebirth, or not the Karmic Rebirth, but the team up does bring Adam right back into fray. But now, see Naga right now, working around the backside. Looking for a little bit of flank pressure. Blaster Barrage gonna hit a lot, helping build up towards the next Galactic Legend. And LG right now being very methodical. Eventually something breaks, and the thing that breaks is Demon. Rajaro, meanwhile, signal to go, slams his counterpart Emma, and this attack should be over.
Yeah, this is a very awkward fight for Oblivione, already down 2, and Luminosity changing their strategy up to having the Adam Warlock, just the res capability, and immediately that ultimate is finding no value from Jax. He's just going to have to go back to the spawn, or sorry, from Mondraco on his side. It is interesting that they play that Adam Warlock composition triple strategist without the Mantis. I mean, Puckett mentioned it earlier how Mantis is not one. Even this triple strategist or triple res composition, they're just saying screw that character. It's just not good right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mantis just suffers for the fact that, like, you talk about strategist ultimates, right? Like, probably the most powerful thing in the game. And Soul Resurgence, it's not in the top tier. And I think that, more than anything else, I think does hurt Mantis a little bit. But, okay, trust me. Diving on in, drops the feast. A little bit of hungriness into the back line. And said, goes, okay, I'm going to back out now. Actually comes real close to getting picked out, so stayed in for the proper amount of time.
They
Meanwhile,
used
Naga,
every ounce of CC they had, and he still gets out. Venom sucks, bro.
Bucket just but we got the Galactic Legend in from Naga. Legend is faded. The Blaster Barrage in towards the end. Rajaro, though, a little bit of Psionic Seduction onto Demon, takes him out. Counter the Seduction, though, in from Oblivione. Is it going to get any pickoff here? And not so much when Demon is down. They're really clutching on Seduction in the Hawkeye picks, but you lose the Hawkeye, just not the same level of impact as Rajaro continues to dominate at death's door, but still getting healed up right at the brink of death.
Yeah, Demon swap over to Human Torch, maybe trying to figure out something, but right now, I mean, they're just getting stuffed by Luminosity. I think Puckett said it, you know, in a pretty blunt way, but it's very true how Trust Me has just provided so much value on Venom. He just keeps diving in, getting all the CC out, all the cooldowns with the crystals out, and doesn't even die for it, so that's brutal.
Also, with 55 seconds left, I mean, this may be the final attempt that we're going to get out of here from Oblivione. Their map choice, their defense looked good, but the LG defense, so far, looking better. We'll see if they're able to find a way through here. I'm not sure I'm in love with the late swap onto the Torch, but we'll see if it pans out. Trust me, a little bit of Venom duel in the back.
1v1, Venom v Venom. Who's the real Venom? Okay, it turns out Trust Me is the real Venom for now. I guess he just falls back.
A real cheater. And another person with it. No 1v1 at all. You just called your Star-Lord. Meanwhile, Galactic Legend in from Nocta. However, the support is there. No one goes down. Demon immediately following the Trust Me in turn as Naga. Galactic Legend gonna be popped. Galactic Legend now Fang, Fate of both worlds still in. You got the Feast getting dropped here by Trust Me. LG real close to finishing off this defense. 2 seconds left. We are in overtime. Oblivione cannot lose this fight or it is over. The Psionic Seduction in for Jaro, though, may be the finisher. Trust Me able to get one off that. Naga on the backside on the Jakes. Nocta, though, back over and in. Finds Destroyed. Ends up dying in turn. Still a huge advantage to LG on the point. Overtime ticking on down. How long can Oblivione delay? It doesn't look like it's going to be much longer as LG holds serve and it gets the first point defense here on Hall of Jalia. And that is a 2-0 lead for Luminosity in the series.
Well deserved. It was super interesting to see them try that triple strategist composition, and it just panned out so well for them. I mean, it's tough when Oblivione can't find those opening picks, and they just or they just find the opening picks, but guess what? It's onto a Star-Lord or an Adam Warlock, and you know, it does feel like at times Adam Warlock is a better version of Hello almost, because it does always have 2 lives, and Luminosity first point hold on that comp. It was beautiful to see.
Yeah, and overall, I mean, it was interesting because Oblivione on their defense, I mean, they honestly looked good. I feel like the biggest moment of weakness for me was swapping to Torch that late into the attack where you're probably, you know, you're at a point where you're not even going to build ultimate to get first point, right? Like, I feel like at that point, you're almost committed to running the Hawkeye and hoping that you do get your pick off, right? That's going to be the spot you'll be in. But instead, they go Torch at the end. It doesn't really work out. And, you know, I do wonder if the new Torch kind of has a bias towards defense here, Dogman, is kind of what I've looked at.
ZP loves torches, and I love Emma Frost. 29-2. That is back-to-back MVPs. Rajaro going to collect this one for Luminosity, and they are now on match point. The good news is, if you're Oblivione, you get to choose where they have to play. Hawkeye on long-range maps, hard to deal with. I don't really necessarily want to play them on domination. They just whooped my ass on that in the first round on Hell's Heaven. So, Dogman, coach me through this one. If I was the Oblivione GM, what decisions are we making behind the scenes?
Probably get new support players. I don't know, like that. It's they did a good job. Don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know. It's right now. LG's strategist players are really good, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been playing too much duelist in this game, and I'm just like, okay, I feel like every game is dictated based on how good your strategist players are. Right. They just do so much healing, had well-timed ultimates, and Oblivione just look to be in a bit of a rut right now. They look to be kind of, I don't know, just making incorrect decisions.
Draco kind of looked like me at times. I play Loki as soon as I get ult. I'm like, oh, where's the Luna Snow? Cop here? Okay, use it. Shit, didn't need to use it. A little wasteful.
There's a lot of that going on in this game, but you know, I do think upsides here for Oblivione. Their defense did look pretty good. I think the problem is that offense on this map is hard, particularly when it comes to first point. I think if they get first point, maybe it ends up a little bit differently, but you know, you just have this terrible anti-snowball that happens when you open with a strange portal and then you lose, and it's like, well, okay, we got 2.5 minutes left to get first. It's a real world where you just get held, and that is it, even if you made good adjustments prior to it.
The Hawkeye highlights, fantastic from both sides. Naga, the pop-off on the Star-Lord. Trust me, though, on the Venom was the difference maker on this map, and if you allow Trust Me to play Venom moving forward, he is going to compete for MVP every single game.
Oh yeah, I mean he's disgusting on the hero. I think EU as well. EMEA loves to play the Venom a lot more than North America, right? It seems to be more prioritized over here.
Yeah, we got Vinny on the group back in NA. We got a lot of group mag lovers, some things even, but they use this character Venom that just doesn't die.
Yeah, I mean, Dogman, you may know this because I think you look at social media a little bit more than I do. Wasn't there like some crash out a few weeks back where there was like some EU Venom player playing on NA and like Ninja just could not handle it? It was just like, you can't do anything against this Venom. I don't know where this guy came from. What's happening? What's happening going on in EU to like make these Venoms?
It's just every week, man. I don't know. I'm not surprised anytime I see a Ninja crash out. That guy needs a little bit of help mentally. I don't know.
His bank account's doing well.
His bank account's doing well. I mean, he could buy my entire family, so I can't say anything about that, right?
Okay, we got game 3 loading up. If you're just joining us, welcome. This is a challengers match of Europe. After this, we're going to the championship match of Europe, where Virtus Pro is going for their 6th win. Following that, you will see your friends from Envy. That's right, Envy has Kaluge in the lineup tonight. Will you see a Strange? Probably not from Europe. Let's get into the path. We go to Yggdrasil, and what is our ban and protects for the opening round? Quick question, Dogman. Season 2 hero that you want to see in this game. Who haven't we seen on broadcast that you want to see right now?
I want to see some Iron Fist. I mean, I personally hate playing against that hero. Permaban for me anytime I play ranked mode, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, yeah, same for you, Puckett. It's just
he's basically a Spider-Man personality. If you ever met an Iron Fist or a Spider-Man, you're like, just leave the bar. Sorry, go on. Every time
it's the same type of people who play these heroes, man. No, Iron Fist, I think I just want to see it simply just due to the fact that it seems to be pretty solid in ranked and in general, but obviously, like we said, the pro meta is so different. I mean, we just saw Punisher Storm, so I think anything is possible at the current moment. But yeah, I mean, for me, I want to see Iron Fist. I don't know, ZP, what do you think, man? What do you want to see in the game that we haven't seen so far?
I'd kind of piggyback a little bit onto the Iron Fist comment just because, okay, look, it's a character we haven't seen that much. And look, I mean, 100 Thieves tried to run it last week. In fact, it was the only map they won against Shikigami is they were running the Iron Fist in Season 1, right? So, kind of back up the point is like, can it be effective? Yeah, I mean, ideally, it may be effective here in Season 2. But you also wonder is that, okay, Emma's also really effective. And okay, let's compare the two here. It's like you have a character that wants to dive into your backline and a character that likes choke slamming and stepping on people that go into the backline, right? So there may be a little bit of a problem there for Iron Fist in the sense of Emma being playable. So,
Virtus Pro is always down for a challenge. Luminosity, Virtus Pro, this is going to be your 5th rematch most likely if you win the path. Can we see on the first map only melee characters? I'm talking Thing, I'm talking Iron Fist, we're talking Emma Frost is allowed in there. ZP, think about it. I know you're the secret commissioner behind the scenes. I'll let you do your job currently with the bans and protects.
Bans and protects, let's see. One thing I was gonna say, just to fall back to the other question, I want to see some Cap. Cap actually got buffed, and we're not seeing it from LG. Because they're banning it. They're getting rid of it entirely.
He lives longer than Venom sometimes, so I get it. I wouldn't want to play him either.
Well, Oblivione, they banned Groot. They decided we're not going to ban Venom. We'll see if there's any extra changes here where they're kind of going back to their map 1, bans and protects. A little bit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Making ZP happy. The defensive torch?
It could be a thing. It's interesting because Oblivione didn't do that ban with it. It just for some reason on their attack, they tried it towards the very end. They just couldn't really get value out of the Hawkeye. And unfortunately, in this game, I mean, you waste 2 minutes off the clock, and it just feels so brutal. So it's like you could switch to the right composition, but unfortunately, it just feels like in the neutral fight, it might just be too late considering how fast ultimates are built up, and it's just so imbalanced for the defensive side.
All right, they're getting rid of Loki. So Strategist removed, 2 Vanguards removed. I'm getting rid of Punisher after seeing that Rocket Protect.
Yeah, I think getting rid of Punisher would be good. I mean, you look back previously, Oblivione had no problems getting rid of the Punisher back in map 2 after what happened in map 1. But in this case, they decided no Warlock. And to that, I say thank you. I appreciate the lack of Warlock here, especially when Rocket is protected. Again, I am anti 8 million reses in one game. That is my stance.
They're the ones who protected Adam in the previous. I'm confused, Dogman. Walk me through this.
I mean, I'm just as confused as you, Puckett. I'll be 100% honest, man.
Okay.
But no, really, they like to mix it up. Now we see the Namor protect, and we know they have a Hulk player on the Oblivione's side. So for them, maybe they're angling that potential, just having those two team ups.
More Bruce. I always support it. Luminosity, square up, fisticuffs, game time. Oh, Mr. Fantastic would finally see airtime on Rivals Fight Night if we had the melee only competition. Punisher protected.
Magic.
Enjoy your team up as they get rid of a second strategist. So Luminosity says, best of luck. You sucked on Luna Snow. We've got that edge. Game on.
Well, I also think banning the Invisible Woman here is smart, just because if you're already telegraphing you want to run a Torch lineup, well, you get rid of one of his strongest team-ups in turn, right? I think that's actually really, really intelligent. I also think, by the way, part of the reason why you get the Psylocke bans right now may just be because of the Emma team-up that got added, right? Like, Psylocke has even more power than she had before if you're running an Emma comp specifically. And LG, they look like they want to run the Emma. They just don't necessarily want to run a Psylocke. So I think that may be some of the logic behind the Psylocke bans that we've been seeing.
So they protect the Torch, they get rid of the Storm, and they protect the Namor. Hulk made it through. Game time.
So did Psylocke.
The Yggdrasil path. Game on. ZP Dogman for the final fight.
Dogman,
Luminosity's night.
Are you ready?
Not true.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the Gamma Squids? Because they're coming.
I'm not. Well, you know what? The Gamma Squids are bugged right now. I mean, that's the sad part about this hero. It's like we know how good these EU players are at playing Venom, and Venom can just bug the character out by just you go in the LOS of the Gamma Squid for a second, you go out of LOS, you come back, and the Gamma Squid can't shoot you anymore. So that's an unfortunate bug that Namor has right now, and he's still a good hero. Don't get me wrong, but it's a limiting factor compared to Luna Snow Squids, which just like hit all the time.
Well, the ice squids, they're gone. We all we got is radioactive squids. You know, maybe next season we'll get fire squids. You get the Namor Torch team up. Will be the next thing we get here. You know, why would something that lives in the sea shoot fire? Who cares? You know, it's comic book logic.
There's volcanoes. You know, there's volcanoes under the water, under the sea, right? So
yep, methane. Yep.
And there you go. Could be a thing.
On the attack first will be Luminosity. And getting through this first point of path, not always doable. Oblivione, we've seen them have good first point holds here before, but right now they're just getting forced back. The neutral pressure actually kind of unreal from LG. Look at the Oblivione health bars. It is rough, but Demon finds his room to strike. Gets a pick off on this Destroyed early, and BRB wasn't even up for that, so that is a full dead. Oblivione 6 on 5, and you just see the retreat coming on in right now, Dogman.
It's LG's style has been so unique to me, ZP. I mean, they just love to play these front-to-back compositions, like you pointed out earlier, I believe. They just really only play, or I think even last week, they only play front-to-back, and whenever they can't do that, it feels kind of tough, and Demon needs to take advantage of this on the Hela. He needs to find opening picks. That's like the whole point of playing Hela.
Well, he did it the first time. Naga, though, now into the back on the Psylocke, looking for room to work with. Meanwhile, though, gonna get the CYA dropped in by Oblivione. Meteor M out for front row. It's huge. Ends up with 2. A quick little slam dunk, and that'll be the end of this push.
Yeah, I love this comp so far. I mean, this is what I would personally like to see out of Oblivione, playing this Psylocke and Hela versus Luminosity, who don't even play their own Hela. And you know, we already know Sestroin can play the Hela to a high level. They just prefer to play the Punisher. But it might seem, you know, that Storm ban is kind of panning out for Oblivione, making sure that they just don't have that neutral game damage boost onto Sestroin's Punisher.
Also, it just got called the question why Oblivione was banning Hela when Demon right now is looking like a beast on the Hela. You know, maybe it's a respect to Destroyed. I don't know. But back into it. LG. A little bit of psionic seduction to start things off here for Trust Me, but no one's getting seduced. In fact, Demon just rejects all of that, takes down Fate into the back. BRB though brings it back up. Nocta meanwhile on the Sistroid. LG taking the advantage off the early pickoffs here. Forever just getting the walk on forward. And Demon, plenty of room to work with here towards the end. Already 2.5 minutes burned off the clock, and you start to wonder, will we see the first point hold?
Well, Sesh Drawings is over to the Hella now. And
someone's in the back.
Who's... Oh, Naga. He's hiding. But listen, man, it's Naga on Psylocke. I'm sorry to say. Listen, if he gets the one shot, I'll be so crazy. But, like, pops the ultimate. Is there Shredder's ultimate to match it, though? It doesn't look like it on that side. It's matched by a Emma Frost ultimate. That's a good pick from Naga utilizing the ultimate.
The BRB brings Jax back up. However, Meteor M from Rajaro makes sure there's at least a permanent hit. LG now working one up. Andre, though, somehow a little bit of Rocket Raccoon damage comes on in. The Rocket unleashed. Ash following up, walking forward, finds Destroyed. Oblivione fully stabilized now. And for LG, dog, man, they got 40 seconds left. This is looking grim.
Yeah, this is looking grim indeed. Forcing a Strider's ultimate. Nice job from the Luminosity to match the other side. But Nocta after this, I mean, should be able to find something. Forever as well, with the Meteor over the top side. Nice bubble, though, to keep them alive. I mean, they can work themselves back into this, LG.
Yeah, just blocked by the Emma Shield. Really nice stuff in for Rajaro. However, Rajaro getting hit right after, so even though you have the block in from Trust Me, nothing left at that point for Rajaro, who ends up going down. Naga, Dance of the Butterfly, looking for Demon, denied! Just crunched! Killing blow went to Jake's, but that was really all Demon in the end. Final 2 seconds left, no one left to touch. It just held right here.
Yeah, no one left to touch indeed, ZP, man. That was brutal. I mean, Sesh Drawing able to get so much value on Hella, and there's nothing else that can be really said about that, huh? I mean, that's literally it. That's the tweet. It's just Damon popped off on Hella.
So I'll kind of tap into a little bit of, your time competitive player-wise, but, on what level is this just the, just energy of, screw it, we're doing whatever? Because this is a radically different band setup from Oblivione relative to what they were doing before. They banned stuff that clearly they're good at, and somehow now it's working here on Path. What's the energy change you get sometimes in these situations as a player? You're like, you know what, run it, we'll see.
I don't know. It's like they just know that I just the game runs through Damon right now, and the energy level, like you said, is just shifted right now for LG. They've tried the Punisher out for a little bit, so Strang went 0-4, and he's just like, okay, guys, I'm going to play Hella now, but it's a minute left in the game. And this is what we talked about earlier, ZP, is that this is what happened to Oblivione on their attack on the previous map, is that once you waste so much time off the clock and then you figure out the composition, man, it just feels so brutal to swap so late. And, we only have one really short distance to travel now here for the attack of Oblivione, and you just got to feel super good.
Also, I do wonder with this many bans and protects, how often the protects get used as a bait, because to make the other team ban the wrong things, because like, oh, they're protecting Torch, they're gonna run Torch comp. They haven't run Torch at all. They haven't run Namor at all. Is Oblivione not running any of the things that they actually protected? Just to point that out.
Yeah, it's a good point indeed. I mean, there's so many bans, so many protects that can be used as bait. I mean, it's the bans that really do matter, but I know players will even complain sometimes, ZP, about, being second to ban, gets that first protect Nocta, finds Sestroid early on.
Yeah, I mean, the early pickoff, when you're looking for a quick attack, what better than that? Naga, though, a little bit of pest control, takes down the Rocket into the back. Now, on to the other strategist, Luna, Psylocke. Luna right now, just using the convoy for cover. Meanwhile, the rest of Oblivione moving on forward. Naga, though, cannot be left untouched for that long. Gets on the Jakes. And so far, defensive Psylocke looking nice for Naga.
Well, it's interesting that they're playing the Cloak and Dagger, too, versus the Magneto. And, that is going to be a hard ult to get off versus Meteor M, which can just one-shot you in a very, obvious path. I'm curious to see if LG actually does get this first point and hold. Is Oblivione fighting on this left side. Forever goes so low, but nice bubble to keep him alive for a little bit longer.
Yeah, Forever.
Again, though.
Yeah, Forever stays alive. Nocta gets brought up by the BRB. Demon now has the Goss of Death ready to go and is immediately got popping as Naga goes in with the Dance of the Butterfly. Oblivione still up after the dance. Goss of Death still in progress, just gonna force LG back for a moment. And Demon finally hits pay dirt. Gets on the Destroyed into the back. Silent Seduction, meanwhile, gonna be used here by Trust Me. LG in there, and it's knocked into the back. Dance with 3. It's the biggest dance you've ever seen. And Oblivione, that's going to be all they need to take map 3 and keep the series alive.
But they have Portal, though. And was it far enough?
I don't think it's going to hit in time.
1 meter? No, you're right.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. You're right, ZP. And LG, unfortunately, their defense was just too poor that Oblivione were just, they only had to go 7 meters. So not a very easy hold for any team.
You never want to be stuck in the position of, what's that? The fuller hold? Yeah. Every now and then it happens, but generally speaking, it means that you've messed up really bad on the map, and to pull yourself out of that level of tailspin as a team, while not impossible, not pretty likely either.
Oblivione with a map win. We take a look at some of the numbers. Walk me through the important ones. Dogman, at the end of a game, what should I be focused in on as a fan?
Well, you never want to blame a player or anything, but obviously Damon's 7 final hits were just all impactful. You saw on his defense, just able to find all of those opening picks. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So, finding those kills, finding the eliminations before anything even starts. And there's not many heroes that can do that besides Hela. So he just got his job done and was incredibly impactful.
Something about getting those dinks, ZP. All the dopamine just hits the right way. Zeep, I seen that stare. What are we thinking about going into this game 4?
Well, I'm thinking if you're Oblivione is that they stick to this. If anything, I think you protect Hela earlier in the match. It worked out well for you. Find your new style that you worked on here and stick with it. Whatever you were game planning in for the first 2 maps, throw it in the trash. You got your new style here from season 2. Try and run it as best as possible, and understand that you're probably not gonna be able to throw off LG with fake protects the way that you did in this game.
I like the move of banning your own Adam Warlock instead of protecting. It worked out, Dogman. I'm never going to doubt the coaching staff. They know something I don't, my guy.
Yeah, it's this next level thinking. The big thing that they need to watch out for now is we already know that LG likes to play Emma Frost. I wouldn't be opposed to protecting a Psylocke, because considering how LG, play around the Emma, it seems like they don't do a good job playing around Emma Psylocke. So I'd love to see them keep the Psylocke into the matchup, because Nocta on that hero looked a lot more comfortable alongside Damon on the Hela.
I'm feeling it. Take a look at some of the best moments. The dance of the butterfly, chopping everybody up, but it's the left click, right click, dash it combo that makes really just the backline quiver. Taking a look at the Magneto, though, that was a character that got banned out previously. Will forever have his go-to in game number 4, do you think, Zeep?
I don't think LG is banning Magneto under any circumstance. I think LG wants to play it every time. When we did see the ban, of course, it came in from Oblivione. I just think that, the actual comps are being played here. When you go to a Helicomp, you had more room to work with. There's a little bit less divey, and Forever had time to set up really good Meteor M's, but it also helps when a lot of these fights just kicked off 6v5 because Demon was able to get good pickoffs, whether it be on defending Naga's attempts into the backline or just outright finding a strategist before the fight even began.
All right, this question comes from YouTube. I thought Rocket was trash. Why do you use Rocket right now? And didn't he get nerfed? Didn't they make it harder for him to escape?
Yeah, that's obviously just figuring out the meta. I respect that. I respect that comment. Rocket Raccoon, I think, is just so good right now because he gives the overhealth when you pop the ultimate. And the only downside, the only reason why we saw, I think, LG not prioritize the Rocket Raccoon in their attack was because realistically, all you need to do is break the see you later. If everybody shoots it, then you can just move forward, and they aren't going to get the overhealth. They aren't going to get that damage boost. And on top of that ultimate, just providing so much value with the overhealth, Rocket Raccoon also has like a weird bug going on where you can get 2 instances of healing if you just right click the ground. So Rocket Raccoon does so much healing, man. That's the big reason.
That's right. Aim at the feet. Instead of the 55, you're going to do 110 healing. It is a fantastic boost to anyone on that front line. We're going into a game number 4. Luminosity is going to have the ball back in their court. ZP, they get to choose maps and modes. And of course, if we get to a game 5, do you think we go back to a domination as a decider? How's this going to work out?
Well, I hope we do, because domination-wise, I think there's a good chance we'd see Control Krakoa at that point, which would be the first time on stream. We'll see it in our money match no matter what, but for me, talk about Season 2, let's see some of the new Season 2 maps, get a little bit of extra variety.
I suck at them. I think my win rate is like 30%, Dogman.
Yeah, I also suck on them. I just go to my way to use the portal. That's like it every time. Like double dash, I lock up to the top one, you know, on that second round or one of the rounds. I don't remember the exact name of the map, but just dash up into the portals. Just utilize all of that environmental stuff. It's a lot of fun.
All right, big shout out to a lot of folks in the chat. We got On Clear with the return. Mike Rach 10 has been here 5 weeks in a row. Shout out to Honey Extra, always in the building. Curry Sauce 07 carried that tournament and then left. I guess he's talking about Kaluge. They're already chatting about NA. Reminder, this is just the EU Challengers. We're going to a break. When we come back, we've got a Game 4. That's right, we're going to a Game 4 to find out if Luminosity can close it. Take a look at Luna dance. Go on, Draco. Go on, Draco. It's your birthday. Oh, no. It's not your birthday. It's Fate's birthday, baby. Millions of years of evolution. Hundreds, thousands of vaccines. But nothing can cure rabies. On Draco, it's not your fault. Welcome back to Rivals Fight Night. We got Dogman and ZP, and I never know what's going to come up until about 5 seconds before. We have a Game 4 coming up, and I did not see that coming the way Luminosity played in maps 1 and 2. But Dogman, Oblivione has given us some hope. We've seen some life. What are we hoping for if we want to see a Game 5?
Like I said earlier, I think I just want to see Silent again. I think that they look really good on it. You know, obviously it was more than just that. It's a whole team effort, but I think we got to make a Luminosity uncomfortable, and to me, that's put them back on the Psylocke again.
All right, ZP, we're jumping into Burning T'Challa. It's going to be another domination. This is my favorite game mode to watch because it's an old-fashioned square. If there's one circle, everyone's going to fight for it. The last team standing earns points. First to 100% is going to take the round. You got to take 2 rounds to win the game, right?
You do, and you know, heading in here, this isn't too surprising. You know, think about the domination pool. You're going to the last domination map that you had from season 1. Of course, if you go to a 3rd domination map, it's new territory, control Krakoa. So I think LG, they want to stop playing around, go something they're comfortable on, and end it here. But the big tell to me is, will Oblivione have wildly different bans and protects from the 1st domination map? By all rights, they should, but for now, they do the protect hella. I love it.
That's a hella respect as well with the Psylocke ban, Dogman. So we're going to see no Psylocke, hella protected by Oblivione. Luminosity, what's your best character to protect?
Let's see. I mean, maybe another Magneto protect from earlier so that it can't get banned. We'll see. I mean, that's probably the play. They protect the Punisher this time. I mean, it was banned on map number 2, so that makes sense to me. But I don't know, man. I don't want to see such throwing on the Punisher. I want to see him on the Hela.
I'm with you. Ban number 2 coming through for Luminosity. ZP, it's normally been a duelist. Do you get your captain out of the way here?
They might get the captain out of the way, or they might think it won't get played. Instead, they banned Torch, which it's kind of interesting because I don't know if Oblivione would go to it here in Domination. I feel like they really valued it more for its defensive ability. But the next ban from Oblivione will be interesting here if they decide to take away something like the Venom that LG, you know, historically really clutches on way more than I think Oblivione does. I would love to see it. Instead, they get rid of the rocket. They go, we don't need pest control in the game if we get rid of him out of the game, you know.
Yeah, no rabies, baby.
That's right.
Well, it's interesting that Rocket Raccoon, I think, like the team up with Punisher got nerfed too in the season 2 because it doesn't provide, you know, that fire rate increase, I believe now. So that changes, you know, how much damage Punisher could do. Interesting that the Iron Fist gets protected on their side. We haven't seen it yet, although we talked about it earlier, guys.
Finally, you can punch a tank in the face. If you are an Iron Fist player from Season 1, please join my lobby now. You're actually useful. On the other side, Magneto is protected as expected. Dogman, great call out there. The final ban coming through from Luminosity. This is normally a respect pick. Are you going with the strategist ban to make life harder? Bruce Banner. Okay. So they're saying no more for you. At least no Hulk no more combo.
You know what? I'd love to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
No. What were you going to say? I'll bring my point later.
No, I was just going to say, you know, ban-wise here, I think they could actually be really interested in ban the Emma as the last ban, give the Iron Fist more room, but instead, okay, they get rid of the Warlock. So in this case, it just strikes me as if you're going to dive in an Iron Fist, you want your picks to actually stay dead.
Isn't this exactly what we wanted, Dogman? You have your Hela in the game. You've got an Iron Fist in the game. You have any strategist you really want to play. This feels like game on, Oblivione.
Oh yeah, I think pro players their mindset is the same as it is in a lower rank for some people, right? It's like pro players are they're just like, okay, I want this, give me this, I'm gonna tilt and go this. Like the mentality of some players can be a bit babified at times, I would say, and I think they're human like the rest of us, and I imagine destroying. We'll see how this first map goes, but if he's not on the Hela, I would not be surprised to see him swap on it like on a second round or something.
Oblivione trying to knock Luminosity out of the championship match. Luminosity one map away from playing a 5th round against Virtus Pro.
All right, we're getting into it. And, Dogman, one thing that's really interesting to me, we talk about analysis of, what pro players think. I always love the divide where you think of the hero shooter history. There are, big content creators that got big where they would, do these big deep dives of pro players and be like, these are all these big brain reasons this player did that. But then you'd actually talk to the player and be like, I don't know, man, I just went forward and, shot people a lot. It's just like, there was no grand strategy. It was just like, do it. It works. More simple than you think.
For sure, 100% ZP. I mean, you know that more than anybody. Is that the pro players are just like the rest of us in terms of how they think. And Naga this time going to be taking the Iron Fist that was protected by the other team, and Oblivione just didn't want to do it, man.
Oblivione, they protect the Iron Fist. They don't play it, and Naga goes, I'll play a little bit Iron Fist. Perhaps a little bit gamesmanship again with the protects, but already heavy damage coming on in. Demon, though, gets on the Fate, even as Ash falls, so down a Vanguard on one side, but Demon striking early. Naga, though, a little bit Iron Fist play into the back, just being a distraction, waiting for the signal from the rest of his team to go, but it's destroyed right now. Getting challenged, and Demon says goodbye.
I mean, Demon is just nasty on this hero right now. He's warmed up, too. That's the difficult part, is that they've given time for him to kind of get online, whereas Naga, other side, I mean, he's pressuring this backline. That's the benefit of Iron Fist, is he's going to be constantly harassing you in your face, and right now they're taking advantage. Trust me as well. Finds forever.
Yeah, and for Oblivione, right now, I mean, even with the early picks, the problem is that, you lose forever, and you lose control of the point, and Demon gets hit by Rajar on the back, so you're kind of more into reset mode here at the moment. Maybe Noct to find something here on the Star-Lord. At this point, it's just a little bit ult building, I think, before the next push.
Yeah, Noct, I'd like to see him maybe get some more pressure on this back line, but he's built up the ultimate in the upcoming fight. Rajaro gonna have the Meteor M to match, and this objective is super hard to take. It takes forever just to come back through, and Naga right now, he's just been a nuisance, man, tracking you through the sky. Where's the support? Where's the team? They've gone to the left flank without Nocta.
Yeah, I mean, Nocta is off there on his own, and at some point, someone made the call out going, Naga, go up there. And Naga just, I mean, everyone's playing the, the hero shooter versus hero shooter game, and Naga's playing Metal Gear Solid right now. Just in the backline, finally engaging here, being the distraction. The rest of LG going on in. How are Nocta looking to slow it down a bit. Galactic Legend going to be popped. Gets Fate of both worlds out from LG. Here we go. Meteor in for Jaro a little bit later into the process, but more than enough to take down Andre Co. And LG. A little bit of Hela versus Hela action, making this round look relatively painless so far.
Yeah, I mean, they're up so many now at this objective. Naga pops the ultimate as well. Nocta is going to fall yet again. And to me, that fight was just simply, unfortunately, no bubble there from Forever. He just, he had it up too. It looked like cooldown-wise for his for Luna Snow. You always want to save that bubble for your Luna Snow whenever there is a Meteor on the other side. But Rajaro really just dunked on Jakes, and that might cost him the round.
Now the question is for Oblivione. Well, okay, they almost just they do kill Naga. Naga just at some point is like, ooh, still limit testing on this hero. Not quite sure how deep I could go, and went a little bit too deep. However, not touching is Oblivione. Where overall, I do wonder if that's at times a blessing in disguise. Where I sometimes wonder if we've actually hit max level of thinking for this game mode here, for domination, in the sense that because you keep your ults from round to round, I do feel like there are some times where, people might figure out that the statistically better play is just leave it and go next, because if you have an advantage at the beginning of a round, oftentimes you can carry it all the way to the end.
Well, you know, in other shooter games, ZP, that's what we talk about, and I think it is a valid point. But the crazy thing in this game is that every game kind of turns into 2CP, the dead game mode now. Nobody knows what 2CP is, right?
We burned it. We burned all existence of it being there. Yeah, we didn't want other people to experience the pain. Like, you know, the newer generations can never know.
But that's the thing in this game is that we have this cool character called Doctor Strange who could just any person could switch to him and just teleport right to the point, and it's like nothing changes. So it's like you can make it into a 2CP type game where, you know, respawn. Okay, there's a portal right in front of me. Got to jump to the point and commit an ult, because a lot of these teams, I mean, they can come back, and you build ultimate so quickly in this game too, ZP. So there's a lot of I guess not nuance. You could just like commit ultimates, just brain dead, and it'll work sometimes.
Naga nearly getting his head taken right off by Demon. Start things out here, but you look at point control. LG prioritizing being directly on top of the point in the beginning. Sonic Seduction in from Trust Me, destroyed, taking down his counterpart, and winning the Hella v Hella battle. Real important. Meteor M gonna be dropped here by Oblivione, but forever not getting much. Instead, a face full of Gauss of Death on the other end. Super clean fight for LG here in this round.
Yeah, this is looking like earlier ZP, where, you know, Oblivione is always in the back foot forever. You saw even his Meteor got destroyed, right? If you put enough damage into Meteor M, it blows up and you don't get to use it. So forever took a little bit too long, and Luminosity just pumped all the damage with the Hella, the Goddess of Death from above, and LG right now just rolling.
Yeah, and I mean, 20% already in their favor. Oblivione, I mean, this fight right now really could decide it all. If they lose this fight after investing all their ultimates, I don't think they get another chance. But also, Winter Soldier sighting. One difference here, lands the hook immediately. Not quite sure about the aftermath there, but follows up. Kraken impact. However, the pick is not found. LG is able to squirrel themselves away from that. And here we go, Meteor M in from Majara, looking to stop this push before it begins. Looks and gets two! Massive here from LG. Demon, you've dropped the Gauss of Death, but you don't got a team with you anymore, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, this shouldn't find too much unless destroying just absolutely feeds, but Crow's back into the point, also has the frontline pressure, and you call the ZP. Rajaro with the dunk of the century just locks it down for LG on the point. 55% and ticking in. You know, right now, LG just have all of the cards in their hand. Oblivione committed a support ult the last fight. I mean, they have Ashe with their own ultimate. Destroyed again. Oh, no, man. That's so brutal.
You start getting up picks like that, you wonder about, like, the state of mental boom right now, because the comeback required for Oblivione to stay in the series would be ridiculous. They got one fight left. LG, they can smell entrance into the money match once more. A fated rematch with Virtus Pro on the line. Should they win this next fight? Naga holding on to the ult here into the back line. Moving on in, gonna pop it. Looking for the sports, forces the fan both worlds out. Meanwhile, destroyed on the front end, takes down Noctu, tried to do much the same. So destroyed, two pickoffs as Naga. A little bit of back massaging here. However, two picks for Oblivione. A little bit of life here. Still got Meteor M forever, though. Really, really low. 93%. Oblivione must touch. Fate and Naga, though, onto the cleanup. And the Meteor M might just be a death knell here. Gets one. But I mean, yeah, they got the flip in the meantime, too. Yeah.
ZP, that whole time, this is the confusing part with having Loki in the game, is that was a Loki copy onto Iron Fist, the double Iron Fist ulted. You never see that, by the way. Like, we always see Loki's just copy other strategists because of how strong the ultimate is. They figured with two Karate Kids just pumping your backline, it should be enough, but it just goes to show again, don't copy your duelists. It was overzealous, to say the least.
It's great when it's great, and it's not as great when it's not great, effectively. But Oblivione, living for a time. Luminosity, though, still a lot of room to work with, up one round, and they have at least two fights left to take this and send it away. And speaking of sending it away, Nocta sent back to spawn immediately. Not getting much done here onto the Iron Fist. LG gets to take it a little bit slower. Oblivione gonna drop the cloned Fate of both worlds here. Ashe, though, finds Trust Me early. Dunk in from Ajaro, though, gets the Luna. As you see, he's destroyed, in over the top, gets his counterpart. LG up at a big advantage, and this time there may be no way back from Oblivione. Entrance to the money match here on the line.
Well, they have Portal. Doctor Strange gonna use it to come back. Nocta's able to find one. They don't have their own portal until he respawns, so they could work themselves back into it potentially here as LG scatter around the objective.
Trust me. Finds Andre Co. See Fate. A little bit Iron Fist versus Iron Fist on the outside. LG racking it up. A little bit more cleanup here onto a point. Overtime ticket on down. And Oblivione. They may show a bit. However, Demon, Goss to Death, trying to buy a little bit more time. It's unprotected right now from LG, getting ripped apart by the Hella in the skyline. Oblivione will not die here just yet. And off the recontest, still in it now, 85%, a real chance.
That was pure dopamine hitting the Iron Fist out of the sky. Thank you, Hella.
This is just not the play, man. I just don't like this double copy with Iron Fist. And now you're kind of coming through to touch the point. All is going to go down. He's going to have to swap to Doctor Strange to touch the portal. Okay, but there's so many ults now for this defensive side. And what a throw, honestly, from Luminosity.
Yeah, I mean, at multiple points where it looks like they had it and not so much. And I mean, look, every now and then, when strategist ults are drained, you can see the Hella ult get tremendous value. So LG, a real chance to put it away, not once, but twice in that map. Oblivione, able to be gritty, find a way in it, and forcing a third and final round here, where if they win this, they force it to a map 5. So life still alive.
ZP, I mean, you've seen a bit of EMEA. Does VP like throw in a similar fashion to LG? Because this feels like
we had Finzi typing to us on the card. Dogman, this is a fun place, fight night. Okay, if you just calm down a little bit. All right, just kidding, Dogman. No, we've seen Luminosity kind of messing around a little bit in the past. I think they may be trying things out before they play VP, because they know VP is just gonna bash them in the face again.
It's the mental pressure.
Also, even when VP loses, they generally don't throw. And when they win, it's just, it's an aura of dominance, right? It's just, you feel the invisible aura just crushing you against the wall.
We did have a DPS Jeff. It was legit Tanuki. Shout out my guy from OG Esports back into the action.
Nocta in and out. I'm not talking about the burners. I'm talking right back to spawn. Just pops the ult and immediately gets dropped forever. Meteor M gonna be blocked on out. Oblivione still looking to make this first fight work, even down Nocta. Focus on point control right now, so even as this fight is going on, they get first control. Now, how long can they hold it? So we see the Silent Seduction coming in from Trust Me. LG looking to slow this fight down a little bit. No picks off the Seduction here just yet as Naga again frozen into the back line. It's one way to chill out an Iron Fist for a little bit. Rajaro, Meteor M looking. Hits nothing but geometry. No one hit for Oblivione. Andre Co. Beta both worlds out. Oblivione still looking for the first pick. Ash real close to Silent Seduction in the middle of the fight. Has it up. Is it going to pop immediately here? Right now, under so much pressure, doesn't really want to pop it. Meanwhile, it's destroyed. Goddess of Death dropping on in. Regeneration Domain's going to be taken out, but still healed is Oblivione. Now Ash back into the fight. Dropping the Silent Seduction. Is the follow through going to be there for now? Mostly shielded off. Silent Seduction is gone. And all the while, though, Oblivione has been in control of the point. Goss of Death gonna get popped. Nocta gets Naga on the backhand side, and the Goss of Death strikes as Oblivione. They're gonna hold on here, Dogman.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't familiar with your game for some of the Oblivione supports. Earlier on, I mentioned how maybe they should get removed. From the team, definitely wrong. I mean, Andreko and Jake's just carried that game, just back at the point with the Loki clones, pocketing everybody. That was brutal.
Yeah. This is what happens when you have a player history of being support in the past. You just like, oh, you know what? People ask for me to get kicked when I messed up my ultimate, so I'm going to do the same.
Exactly.
It's going to be the cycle of vengeance continues. But look, Oblivione. The gamble they took of prioritizing point control paying off. Now LG, only really one good fight, maybe two at the portal to keep this going. Oblivione, the heals coming in big. Nocta, cracking impact into the back, frozen in a rough spot. Fate of both worlds though, gonna bail him out of a tough position. Got the reset off the Loki clone, goes in even deeper. No backbite right now for Nocta, but also no kills. Naga, meanwhile, Galactic Legend dropped, hoping to get some on the backside, and no, it's forever! The Meteor M strikes, sets up Demon on the same time for another two easy picks. Oblivione, come back in. The series is not gonna be over just yet, barring the strange portal of strange portals. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming too late. It's over. Yeah, they did it. Tied it up, man. How did they do it? What the hell?
A little bit of throws. And
it was the Hella gameplay, fam. Go back and watch Demon. Take a look at these stats at the end. I bet he's MVP.
I would guess. That would make sense to me. But yeah, I mean, I also wonder, you think about LG and what they've been good at historically. I would not put Iron Fist in that bucket. I do think it was a little bit experimental, as was previously brought up. But now, your ticket to the money match is on the line right now. The time for experimenting is over.
The double metal fisting is what chat was calling it, and it's really interesting to see the double Iron Fist coming out, because you think you can do so much damage, but then aren't you just missing the healing from Fate while he's in that form, Dogman? At least when you copy a support, you're still doing your same job.
Yeah, they were right there towards the very end to finish it up, like every time. They found the opening picks, and then, like you said, Puckett, I mean, on the other side, Damon just able to find two. Loki also was the one to die, unfortunately, to the Fist, and when that happens, okay, great. Hella just needs to find one kill to bring it back. So, you know, it just felt like there just wasn't the consistency there. They weren't able to have the follow through. Like, they found the opening picks, but just couldn't capitalize without any sustain from like a Luna Snow copy or something.
It's also got to be really tough, ZP, when you're playing Iron Fist, you're chasing people, and then all of a sudden you switch back into a really slow Loki. You're like, shit, how do I get here?
Yeah, it's not you think about what people are comfortable on, right? Like, Iron Fist is historically one of those heroes that if you play Iron Fist, you mostly only play Iron Fist. There's not a lot of crossover behind, I play a lot of Loki, but also dabble in Iron Fist. It's not usually the average player profile, and you saw a little bit as to why, but man, oh man, Oblivione just never giving up. And this is a good testament to anyone that plays ranked, where people just hit the forfeit after losing one fight. No, there's always a way back.
Hexagrams in chat. I can't even read that legally. We're having fun here on Rivals Fight Night. So is Luminosity. We're going to a game number 5. And if there's any team willing to go for the all melee match, it may be LG going up against Virtus Pro. Finzi, tell the boys to prepare. It's been incredible so far. Oblivione forcing a game 5. It will be Luminosity's map choice. And I have a feeling we're going to be playing a longer map here, ZP. No way you go to a domination for a third time on the new map, do you?
I don't think you do it on the new map. If nothing else, it is the new map. You are the team that came in here with the historical edge. You are the team that feels like you're the better team. You don't want the wild card of a new map. You just don't have the game time in it. More weird stuff can happen. You want something homegrown, reliable, that you can look back at and be like, yeah, we've played this 100 times and we'll play it 100 times more. That's fine.
Big shout out to Mike Rage. He is the biggest loser in our chat. The worst gambler when it comes to channel points. If you haven't done it already, twitch.tv/Rivals Fight Night. It's the place to come hang out, drop your subs and terrible predictions. Mike's here every week, though. He's like that grandma that just shows up like on a Tuesday to Friday schedule until 4 p.m. just pulling the lever. One of them's going to hit, dog man. One of them's going to hit.
I don't. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Shouting out the biggest loser is definitely something that I love about Fight Night, for sure.
Yeah, we're getting fun. My man Finzi is eating ramen right now. He needs this win. He's carbo loading, ZP. Virtus Pro is ready to go.
Which again,
where are we going for game 5?
Where are we going for game 5? I'll say this: I will be shocked, like mouth open, if it is Control Krakoa. I don't think that's going to be the case. Personally, I think if you are LG, I don't think you go to a convergence map. I think you go to one of the remaining convoy maps here. I don't think it quite matters which one. I think that is the case where you limit the possibility of like a freak first point hold that can happen more on convergence, and you give something that, if you believe in the consistency of your gameplay, you'll be fine. And also on the same note, you probably first ban Hella, because the series has quite literally shifted since Hella's been played. You've recognized the problem, get rid of it.
Keep her in the game. She's really fun. You're gonna have to deal with her at some point. Dogman, while we are waiting for our players to choose where they want to play video games, I saw Hexagrams trying to come up with our new tagline that said Fight Night Esports. Esports, how it should be done. I give it like a 4 out of 10. Can you give me something better?
Tagline. I'm not a marketing major. I dropped out of college, so it's
all of us.
I mean, yeah. Marvel Rivals Fight Night. We can't take the what was the old saying from like those boxers whenever like get ready to, I can't say the word because then they'll
people get sued. That's
yeah, we'll get sued for that one. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we see that's the tough part is that we're all about fighting over here. So I don't know. The challenger approaches. I think that's like a Smash Bros thing. So I got nothing unfortunately for you, Puckett.
There we go. Okay, the challenger approaches. Chat, beat that. ZP has something cooking. I know he's been thinking about it for 4 weeks. ZP, you want to say it now or at the end of this match?
You know what? At the end of the match. I'm not entirely sure what I'm cooking, but we'll see.
We're going to Game 5. Spider Islands is going to be your map. It's times 3 bans and protects. If you're here for the first time in Season 2 like we are, there's now 3 bans, 2 protects. What does that mean? You can actually shape the meta of the game you're about to play. We haven't seen you go for like a triple strategist attack quite yet. I haven't played any games where I have 3 bans, so I don't even know if that's legal. Chat, make sure it is. Let me know if I'm wrong here, but I think you can do it. You could do a double strategist ban. Have 4 of them banned last time around, ZP.
Look, I mean, it is a strategy you can do, especially if you're a team that thinks you're a little bit behind and you want a little bit of chaos. I think, though, from what we've seen so far here, Oblivione, they're the team that is on the hot streak right now. The fountain that works for them. They don't want the chaos. And LG, they still feel like they are the superior team. I don't think they want it either. It made sense when we saw it in the NA finals last week because overall, you had a situation where Shikigami was coming in as, may perceive the weaker team for 100 Thieves, and they wanted to shake things up. I don't think either of these 2 teams want to shake things up right now for very different reasons.
Why not?
Why not? Going into the year, I just think for LG, I think they just believe they can rely on their bread and butter from historical performance.
I'm just roasting. Dogman, I'm ready to get this going here. Bans and protects are loading up, though. What have you taken away from Europe as ZP quit the show after that comment? ZP, I didn't mean it. Come back.
No, he's pissed. He's livid. The storm is taking ZP.
No. I'm actually, right now, I'm actually telling Avast to be ready to step in because, like, it is storming like crazy. I'm like, oh, God, please, thunder. Like, the god of thunder is outside right now. I don't know what to tell you.
Are you in Minnesota? Where are we living these days, ZP? Can we?
I am in Minnesota. Yes.
Yeah?
That's right. Minnesota. In the suburbs.
Where exactly? Any coordinates for us?
Yeah, geocode location.
What's your mother's maiden name, ZP?
Well, actually, no, we're not going there.
We got our bands protects loading up here. What's up, chat? That's right. His real name's Andrew. We have Captain America banned 3 times, and now a Psylocke banned coming out of Luminosity. And Psylocke, once again, is going to be banned going into map number 5. So they think they've figured it out, but not banning the Hela means Oblivione is going to say, oh, we're bringing that in to this game again.
Oh, my camera, I didn't realize what happened to the camera. That might have just been from alt-tabbing. It's fixed now. I don't know what I hit.
CP.
Look, I had to make sure the backups are ready. I didn't even realize I was
Come up with a better story, like lightning hit my knee and I plugged it in. Guys, it's working again. There we go. All right. We're rocking out with the raccoon again.
Yep.
His ult just so good, or his heals are so good with the ability to shoot people's feet?
Yeah, it's got to be both of those. I mean, that's the tough part. They made not to say the M word, but Mercy. They just put her in the game basically. I'm just gonna say it. Like it's just like this character is just like the hero that you play if you're just like not very talented. And I think that you just pocket your team and you just hold right click. You can just tape right click down and you're fine. Like you don't even need to do. There's a guy that got freaking Eternity playing nothing but heals. He didn't do a single tick of damage.
Dogman, I'm happy we've protected your location because if your location was to come out on stream right now, you would not be able to leave your house after those comments.
Right.
Just like you know.
Dude, no, as a strategist, I respect this opinion. Dogman, let him know.
Listen, man, I'm just you pointed out rabies earlier, and I think for sure, the rabid fan base of Rocket Raccoon fans are gonna swarm at my house. So I'm glad. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I bet ZP feels super smart, by the way, because we're going to Spider Island. You talked about going to Convoy, ZP, and there you go. You're right.
Yeah, I think, again, you just want something consistent, pure and simple.
Yeah.
Iron Fist. Show me more Iron Fist.
It's so easy to feed on Iron Fist, Puckett. That's the thing. Like we saw last game, we saw Naga just went a little bit too far. Same thing with Fate. It's just easy to go all in on this character. Same thing with Nocta. Nocta had the same amount of elims as he had death. He had 11 and 11.
What if we damage boost him this time, though, Dogman?
That could be a vibe. I might be in on that. I don't know.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Maybe time our stuff together, Luminosity. I don't think you're going to see it. Neither will you see Namor. With Hulk out of the game, he's pretty crap. And finally, last but not least, Punny is going to be out for Luminosity. They didn't like him in game 2. They don't like him again in game number 5. This is for the money match. Who's moving on to play Virtus Pro? It's either going to be Oblivione or Luminosity for match number 5 in the finals against VP. ZP, if I'm Mike Rach, where should I put my predictions right now?
You know what? The reality is that Mike Rach actually decides the course of this, because whoever he bets on in channel points will lose the game. So there's no winning. But in regards to that, look, you want to see some variety here. We've seen LG versus VP a lot. I'd say put it to the LG side. I'm an agent of chaos. I want a little bit of variety, and I think the reverse sweep story is cool. So see if Oblivione can finish it out, where, by the way, we didn't hit on it, but they got rid of Venom. They're getting rid of comfort picks for LG when they might want comfort more than anything else heading into a map 5.
It's gonna be a good one. Even the robot's excited. Dogman, ZP, Oblivione, Luminosity for a spot in the final.
So we're looking into it, and Hella, once again, the story of the match, where I do wonder, will you have, if you're LG, do you have regret that you don't ban the Hella if it ends up being like 3 straight Hella maps with 3 straight losses?
I mean, 100% for sure. You're right. It's just, not that Destroyed has played bad. I mean, they've had the same amount of final hits on both sides. It's just, like you said, ZP, it's just that one hero pick that's kind of been the staple of the comeback for Oblivione.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's not a case of like you can't play well. It's just the other team might be playing way better with that hero. It's kind of like 100 Thieves probably should have banned Groot, even though Vinny's a great Groot, because Krasmane on the other side was just way too good with it, and disproportionately so. But into the game right now, it's destroyed, down, caught by Forever early. Naga, though, returning the favor on the Demon. Nocta, though, a little bit of cleanup in turn. It is LG on the attack first right now. Oblivione looking to defend, but Forever just getting pummeled, and might be a time for a little bit of a reset, a little bit of a breather right now for Oblivione.
I like the adapting from Oblivione to play the Storm on their side, whereas destroying, it doesn't matter, just walking forward with the rest of the team, and LG recontrol the objective. But right now, the idea of the Storm is just to play together as a unit, right? Enable your front line to get more damage down range. For Luminosity's side, they've got Naga to sort of match that. He just wants to be all over Nocta's face, and kind of did that with the backside support of Destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, this is mission impossible, I feel like, a little bit for the Storm, where you're going to get hit by the Star-Lord at all points. The Hella can always switch their attention over to you. Unless Demon is a huge threat, it's just going to be hard for Nocta to get things done. But here we go, Andre Ko opening things up, fate of both worlds. The Mega Hurricane in reserve. Rajaro, though, says, stop dancing! Takes down Demon. Doesn't quite get the Luna, but the one pick off early on. Meanwhile, Naga takes this guy's Galactic Legend, laying in the damage on the Forever. A Mega Hurricane, though, going to be invested here by Nocta, as Oblivione still tries to make something work here on this defense. Psionic Seduction in from Trust Me, into the choke point, pushing Oblivione back, dives on in with Rajaro, and it's just full hold W here for Luminosity, going to get him the first point.
So much pressure currently by Luminosity. Perfect positioning overall as a team, and Oblivione, they're going to need to figure something out, because I don't think it gets any easier in the streets phase of the map for that Storm, like you said. At first, I felt like it was a decent pick, and it's gone. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. You called the ZP. It's like he's just not been able to get much value when he's got everybody running at him.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need a little bit of space as a flyer, and that's a complete no-fly zone. That got enacted just based on the duels on the other side. So it's over. Nocta onto the Winter Soldier, which did work out reasonably well into last map. I think anytime you got Loki on the other side, Winter Soldier just gets extra value. But Ash opens up here. Emma, again, space here on the point. The seduction, though, has ended, and Destroyed has ended Jake's. In turn, quick pick off from the Hella. Already sets up LG on a good tilt here. And, you know, Oblivione, you can't be giving up this many picks in the neutral. It just makes things real tough.
Oh, nice shots from Damon, though. But yeah, it really does. I mean, Damon, you find one, but how much more can you really find? Nice grab here on the outside, and Forever goes down. Damon just watching his team melt around him, ZP. Just, it feels like every time we're on his POV, everybody's just dead.
Team? Actual comms being held here. You know, the comms listen and just like, you know, team. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a real problem because you look at LG, I mean, they're building up a sizable ult bank here because who needs to expend ults when Destroyed just grabs someone in the first 5 seconds of a fight?
He's popping off currently, and that's the thing about how the gameplay is. In the neutral, like we talked about earlier, you could just get so much value, and now they have those ults ready to go. Nog over the top side as well, forcing out ultimates to match alongside the frontline damage from everybody else. Ooh. Just so much, dude.
Yeah, and while the ultimates get forced out, there's a period where Destroyed is still able to get to the back, find people not on the ult, get 2 pickoffs early on, and it's not even a fight. It's just a surgical excision being extracted here by LG, where they have flown through this map here so far. You talk about the idea of warm-up period. Well, I think Destroyed might be a little bit warmed up on the Hella now.
Yeah, he might be. He might be, and he's been a staple, a reason why they've been able to continue this frontline pressure. And I think Oblivione is comp that I always wonder, like, Star-Lord feels like such a weird hero where you don't think he individually carries, but he almost doesn't require the same amount of peel that these other duelists need. Like, both Nocta and Demon are on heroes that need that sort of hard pocket to pop off, whereas Naga kind of can just play for his own life, has 2 iframes, just able to live, whereas Oblivione aren't afforded that same luxury. So maybe Luminosity is taking advantage of the current comp.
Magneto, under all sorts of pressure, goes for the Meteor M, gets it off, but just dies, just very far extended. Doesn't get the support necessary. Sets up LG for the 6-on-5, able to walk forward, and yeah, Jake's pops the Fate early, but here we go. Kraken impact in. This fall through going to be there. Nocta gets 1. Resets are going to be in motion, but Naga Galactic Legend puts an end to that real fast here in the back, and that's what happens when the Magneto dies first in the fight. You don't have the Meteor M available to put an end to the Legendary.
Man, this has been brutal for the side of Oblivione. Nocta went a little bit too far forward, trying to find Destroyed, and they're swapping over to Cap. Maybe this is why we saw the Cap earlier, CP. This could be the turning point for Oblivione with 2 minutes and 36 seconds left.
Avengers assemble. Oblivione going to the good old Captain, hoping that'll be what makes it happen as, well, it's Destroyed. Goss of Death takes down his counterpart. Ultimate on point. Oblivione still down 1. LG on the way through, but there's a lot of delay to be had here. They lose 2 right away, which may stall it out, but that's one thing we didn't talk about. Captain America, if anyone's gonna stay alive and be a pain on point, usually it's Cap.
When it's sad because they actually gave up the Bucky team up with him too as soon as he comes out, so that's depressing to see. Meanwhile, Damon in the sky over the top. But dude, trust me, has been brutal on the Emma Frost. I mean, oh my goodness, CP, he's done so much, and nobody's even touching too.
Yeah, that's a speed run. Where, by the way, we didn't even really touch on it because it was so fast, but of all the convoy maps in the game, this is probably the one that is least reliable to cap the last point. It is really, really difficult to get last on Spider Islands. And, well, now Oblivione, they not only need to cap last, but if they want to have a real shot of turning this back around, they need to do it with at least some time left on the clock. So it's a tough spot to be in. And, you think from the player perspective, how hard it is to actually make up the momentum here, and yet you still got to go out there anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to make it up considering as well how we saw this on the on one of the previous maps too, on one of the other convergence maps. I mean, it similarly played it to Convoy, and first point Hull came through on the side of Oblivione. It's tough to come back from. Rocket Raccoon, meanwhile, was unbanned, so you could always just change it up with some extra damage or something. But I don't know, man. Oblivione, I'm sorry for calling out your supports earlier, and I thought they were playing poorly. They really weren't. I think it's just, oddly enough, Nocta just doesn't know what to do. It feels like a lot of times it's been tough for him on every hero, and he just needs to find one that works, because no matter what he's on, he's kind of just I hate to say the keyword, feeding a little bit.
Does that bring back memories at one point where you just the old hair is like, so-and-so's feeding? There's some deep lore with you and that word, but leave that for another time. As we head on in, Oblivione, super quick. Adamo gonna be dropped here.
Let's change it up to triple strategist, ZP. Interestingly enough, we saw that LG did something similar on their defense, but now onto attack playing it is interesting.
Official request to production. Can we please start the Trust Me highlight reel? I have my MVP selected.
The Puckett has spoken. However, so has Oblivione. Really good neutral trade-outs this time around, and Rajaro, it's more about delay at this point. You look at Rajaro's point of view, it's just blue. It is nothing but blue all around, and yet still getting enough support to live for a little while, but not much longer. As you know, it's kind of interesting. You talk about setups here. Oblivione coming out the triple strategist once more, Dogman. Was this the time for it?
It might be. I mean, you can just constantly put so much pressure on the back line. Also, you don't have to worry about Nocta dying on Rocket Raccoon. So there's a lot of things that are enabling Oblivione right now, and maybe putting Demon on the Star-Lord was the thing that needed to get done. But, you know, for Destroyed, I just need to see him pop off a Gale on Hela, and they'll be totally fine.
Ah, yes. The ultimate analysis, like, look, just pop off on Hela. Meanwhile, Demon, Galactic Legend, Naga, not quite able to hit the ground to get the advantage of the strategist ult in time. So, Oblivione up one. Solar Surgeon's Meteor M still on deck. LG, do they invest fights even while down here? That is the question. Meteor M gonna be out first here by Forever, looking for the dunk. Meanwhile, Demon getting on the Destroyed. Counter Meteor M in from Ajaro, finds the Mantis. Not too shabby. Naga, meanwhile, uncontested in the back. The Galactic Legend should let LG hold on here, but we'll see. It's still in contest as the Karmic Revival from Andre Ko says, no, this fight's not over yet.
Oh my, Naga. I mean, you're right. Yeah, Jake's is back too, so it doesn't matter how many times you die here right now. Adam Warlock will bring you right back into the fight, and you're going to have all of that pressure. As long as you're finding even one, that kind of enables you. And the Hela into the sky, but can't contest the payload in this form. We'll see how much pressure comes through from it. And it gets Jake. So that Jake's, I think, died 3 times in that fight. And finally, they get the win. LG does.
You know, I've realized here, if we start holding like official Fight Night stats in the stat database, if a team is running Warlock and Rocket at the same time, it really is just legal final blow stat padding for the other team.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
It's so funny when you play against this comp and you're like, how are we losing when we have all of this damage, all of these kills? They're negative, and they capped out the whole map. What happened?
I got 4 picks, guys. What in the world's going on? Well, yeah, but they had 5 reses. It's like, but that doesn't make any sense. You said they have 7 people? I don't know, man. It's just where we're at. Naga, meanwhile, onto the Iron Fist now. Doing decent damage to the strategist in the backline. Only a minute left for Oblivione. The right to get into the money match on the line. LG nearly there. So we see Forever walking on forward. Meteor M close to being built up, and it's been aggressive. Meteor M's by Forever. Demon, though, in over the top. Destroyed, already gone. Fate gonna be used here as Forever so close to getting Meteor M, and nearly goes down. Nearly gets bursted, but gets healed right back up in time. Meteor M now gonna be used by Forever. Looking, does not connect. Meanwhile, Fate popped out here from LG. Rajaro, who's been way more on point with the Meteor M's, comes on in, takes out the Warlock. That's one way. Prevent a little bit of resing. Demon, though, into the backline. Gets on the LG Fate, and of course, Warlock's still gonna res himself as Demon now may be the one to put over the top, but it's very scrappy.
It's very scrappy indeed. They're trying to finally close it out. Andreko sitting with the res 2 Forever. Could be brought back into this fight. I'm curious why he's not resing to bring him back into it. Overtime ticks down as well, and
Portal.
LG are still here with on the objective.
Yeah, and LG, I mean, it's yet to get a definitive edge. We are in overtime. Tournament life on the line. Demon, another pick happening. The Portal gonna be dropped here from LG. LG wanting to end this here and now if possible. Fate trying to buy a little bit of time. Destroyed coming in the old-fashioned way, not via the Portal. Gauss of Death gonna be used here. Looking for the Star-Lord, but he's moving in and around, looking for the mid-air instead. Onto the ground. Jake's gonna fall. Demon, though, Galactic Legend used on to the Luna, but Destroyed finding room to work with. Fate still alive here on the Strange, and LG trying to get a little bit of room, but Demon brings it right on back. This is just a brawl that does not end.
Well, they were lacking the healing because, unfortunately, the one who did switch to Doctor Strange was Fate. He was the support player. Also, Nocta, interesting to toss out the ultimate there towards the end. I don't like... I mean, yeah, they cap out here in overtime, but I don't like how Nocta's been using his Rocket Raccoon ultimates. He keeps tossing them to the open. You see a lot of pro players, even in ranked or whatever, just saying, you know, put it around the corner, put it somewhere you can't break it as easily. But, you know, 2 Rocket Raccoon ultimates, not the best to use it there. And that's also what happens when you put a support player over to Doctor Strange, right? You lack a lot of that sustain to continue on in the fight, and somebody's got to switch to Doctor Strange. Just a lot of times you wish it wasn't a support player.
Yeah, sometimes just, well, who can get the Portal out in time and who just died? Well, yeah, that's going to be you, Fate. We're sorry. Just, you know, get your magic skills in. But here we go. Second point underway. 2 minutes left for Oblivione. A long way to go as Frostby just slams the good captain.
She is so good.
And his Puckett loves it. Or Puckett, it's not even gonna matter. Like MVP every day is gonna be Emma Frost if it's an Emma Frost player, but it's destroyed. Takes down Jakes. LG slowing it down a little bit. The Avengers Assemble call comes on out here from Forever, but again, if you're LG right now, Dogman, you're actually good with these really long fights. The clock keeps ticking down.
Yeah, they're totally fine indeed, like you said, ZP, and especially with Jaro on your team, just able to hit this whenever he wants. The meteor over the top, also from Naga. Ooh, I mean, just clean up in the ultimate.
Yeah, and again, the key here for Oblivione, they not only have to win like 2 fights to get to the end here, but they want to have some time left, and the reality is, they're not capping this beyond overtime. And even then, they still have to keep on going just to keep the map alive, as Luminosity already capped. So, you know, the stakes are pretty grim.
Jaro still sitting with the ultimate as well, ready to counter Demon whenever he goes into the sky. Very early ultimate from Sestroid. Goes under and just absolutely shuts down Demon in his ultimate. Who needs Meteor M in that case?
Yeah, it's like Demon reses, but you'll come back with your Galactic Legend. All that aura just got drained. So things get even worse. However,
again,
in the front line, Rajaro goes down. They try and compensate here with the Psionic Seduction in from Trust Me, and it's enough. Sets up Sestroid for the quick pick on the Andre Co. 20 seconds remain between LG and getting their money match rematch versus Virtus Pro. Karmic Rebirth, though, going to be used here by Andre Co. as Oblivione try and get something going.
Well, again, I mean, they're nice res from Mondraka. I mean, he's been so consistent on Warlock, and they're able to get through. But what are we doing, Nocta, man? Stop tossing your ultimate on the cart just for everybody to kill. Oblivione finally working themselves back into this fight. Fate does commit the ultimate a little bit too late to keep his own support alive.
Yeah, but again, I think for LG, they're just sitting here and like, we'll delay. We're in overtime. All they have to have is one of these fights go their way, and Naga says, why not this one? Finds room to work with on the Galactic Legend. Demon goes down. Andrika, though, on the Trust Me. Oblivione, 4 alive. Meteor M dropped. Buys some time for Extra to get back here onto the point. Demon and Jakes are still down. So they drop the Strange Pearl, and yes, Jakes, Strange, in play here. Gonna drop it. Portal has been used, so Oblivione, final opportunity here. Ash, though, going down early. LG still at an advantage. Fate gonna be dropped here by LG as Demon works on the Galactic Legend. Galactic Legend is gonna fade as Luna still keeps on dancing. Jakes is down, and LG on what could be the final fight. Looking to bring it on down. Destroyed with another. The portal may not be enough here for Oblivione. They fought hard, but the fight is just about over. Ash forever down. LG in the money match once more.
1, 2, 3.
I don't want to be toxic, but
do it. Roast them.
I don't know, man. If I were to have, if you know how there's MVPs, I would have a least valuable player in this game. Like, Nocta was so bad on Rocket Raccoon, dude. Like, why is he tossing the ultimate out in the open every freaking time, dude? I mean, he has had a hard time figuring it out. I can 100% respect that. I can understand that. Like, but every map, man, he's just had so many deaths. Has just thrown out bad ultimates, and I don't know. Oblivione felt like they had a chance until that map. For me,
looked like he wasn't familiar with the hero. Don't know what was going on there from a pro level in EU. Oblivione, though, they've got time to reshape their team. It's only week 2 here of season 2, and we got a little sample of what Trust Me can do off of the Groot. We saw his Venom last week. Now he's saying, hey, I've added another Vanguard to my arsenal. Good luck dealing with it. Emma Frost was backbreaking throughout that game. I always felt like Luminosity had the edge. Either someone in the front line or back line was missing from Oblivione. Great job pushing the cart, and even better job playing defense, ZP.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference in map 5 relative to the previous 2 maps was the neutral game for LG, where Sestroid, maybe came in a little bit cold on the Hela, but once Sestroid got going, you kind of see the logic of why earlier in the series, Oblivione wanted nothing to do with the Hela. It was a matchup that overall was better for LG in the end, even if it took a little bit of time to get going.
And can you pause real quick? For those not familiar, what is the neutral?
The neutral is basically fights you win without investing ultimates, right? Where early in the fight, both teams are just looking at each other, and then you just lose someone before any grand setup, and everything's just ruined at that point because you're down a player, and if you do invest ults, you have to over-invest ults to keep it on going. So, neutral plays, if you could get neutral picks, often from heroes like the Hela or heroes like the Hawkeye, really do so much in aiding your tempo as a team and just winning you more team fights overall.
All right, they said throw this rat enjoyer to the wolves. Lawyer 448 is bullying the Rocket Raccoons in our chat. Rockets, feel free to speak up for yourselves. We know you can aim at short range. ZP, we've got some highlights ready to roll. Dogman, though, I want to hear from you. If you're looking at this series as a whole, who stood out from Luminosity? If you were a GM with limitless money for the Falcons in Saudi Arabia, who are we signing?
Well, man, I mean, the whole team is so good. Yeah, if they hand the Saudi cash, I think we're looking at Rajaro. I mean, he on Magneto and pretty much everything looks super good. Trust me, I know how good he is on tank, and you were right, Puckett. Yeah. I think on Emma Frost, he was definitely top tier, but I just love what Rajaro is able to do on the Magneto. That's the players people are paying right now, too. It's people like Kaluj, people like Rajaro, these incredible Magneto players, because they're not that easy to find, the best ones, that is.
And why is that role so critical? Like, what does Rajaro bring as Magneto?
Well, it's an interesting thing because he has all of the shields, right? He has perfect timings potentially with saving his team. The big thing is that hero has this thing called Meteor M that just one-shots people. So if you're good at hitting it, I mean, you're just immediately the most valuable player I think we could pick up right now for most people. Because there's also not many of them that could do that, right? There's so many good duelist players, but how many good Vanguards really exist?
Let it rip production. We've got highlights galore. This is Rivals Fight Night and your match MVP. We're here with the thickness, aka Trust Me on Emma Frost. Trust Me doing everything for his team. The ultimate, seducing everybody, bringing them up front and center and then breaking them in half, ZP.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that a lot too, where you talk about a way to make your duelist look good, right? For setups where you get a clean psionic seduction out there. And yeah, you might not be getting the killing blow yourself a lot of the time, but they're not going to be able to live as... You see when also got in close quarters, just the power Emma Frost has just by going in the diamond form and, just laying some hands. But also, we got some Trust Me classics here this game.
Yes.
A little bit of Venom. As you look here, what happened later on in the series.
The unkillable Venom, by the way. Do you remember he was like frozen, stunned, and still gets out alive?
Look, the symbiote, it gives you a lot of extra endurance, a lot of power. That's why Spider-Man in his black suit era was just so powerful that eventually the writers had to nerf and be like, no, you can't have this anymore. Like, get it out of here. Like, also made him ragey and murdery,
Yeah, Trust Me and Rajaro looking nasty as a duo together, Dogman, and they face off against Finzi and Nevix. This should be a fantastic showdown with the new character in the mix. Do you have any thoughts moving forward? What do you want to see from Trust Me as they take on the champs in a rematch?
I mean, just play the same stuff, right? I just want to see more Emma Frost. I want to see him do the same things that he was doing in this match. And I don't know how you guys keep a straight face with Puckett here, man. I feel like every time he just says something crazy and then transitions to like the perfect transition and everyone forgets he just said the thickness. Like, how did that just happen? And nobody, I'm just like over here dying while you guys are talking. Like, I can't deal with this guy right now.
Yeah, we just giggle a little bit on this show. That's why we're all here. It's Thursday night and our kids aren't here. Let's get into our highlights one more time as you break down the numbers. 34,000 from Trust Me. Rajaro, though, with the 15 final blows to match it. Destroyed really stepping up on the Hella. Might have been the difference maker on the other side. ZP, ex-Oblivione has been here. It's not their last time on the show. Other than fixing their Rocket Raccoon play, what do you want to see between now and next?
I mean, truthfully, I think embracing those strengths a little bit more. I do wonder how the series would have looked if they had just opened with the Hella to begin with, where even in the final map was a little bit of a runway, like they got crushed, but I do think the maps they lost may have looked differently if they went in with the strategy that eventually got the map wins, right? So I think for ex-Oblivione, they kind of had an idea of how Season 2 would play out and how their strengths would look. And they went in there, they had that game plan for the first two maps, and they went, wait, it's not working. So I think for them, they clearly have a good coaching staff. They have more roster depth than the norm in terms of substitutions. I think for them, they're the type of team where a few weeks in on the season, they'll improve them. They'll look way better in the future. And, for now, just figure out what works for them.
Fate never change. Please keep copying Iron Fist. It will work eventually. If not, we'll find somebody else. Virtus Pro Luminosity rematch number 4 at least. Production, let me know. Is it officially 5 now? VP, 5-time champion Luminosity wore the crown. The 1 week VP was out. We're going to a break. When we come back, set EU final. Hit the follow button. Do it right now while you watch the slow-mo. of a guy with a bubble getting smashed by a bigger bubble from one Magneto, but then it's a second Magneto named Rajaro with a bubble of his own. It's a meteor of metal, and it's coming down on your dome. Luminosity. 3, 2, over X of blue. It didn't even do any damage, guys. Let me show that clip.